Chapter 541. Heavenly Lion Xian body. While Qin Yun was refining the Xian Yuan steel, he sat there motionlessly. Ling Yun didn't allow him to move because she was releasing Nether Sun immortal fire. If he moved, it would be very dangerous. All right, Ling Yun also breathed a sigh of relief. It's too dangerous. If you're not careful, you might burn yourself to death. If it wasn't for this critical moment, I wouldn't have let you use it. Qin Yun only heard from Ling Yun, that it is very dangerous. He has never seen it with his own eyes, so he doesn't know how terrible the Nether Sun immortal fire is. However, he felt that if he tried to control it, he would not be able to deal with the Nether Sun immortal fire. After so many days, he finally knew Ling Yun's ability. In the future, Ling Yun can also guide him to display the power of Nether Sun martial spirit. After being burned by the Nether Sun immortal fire, the quality of the Xian Yuan steel had indeed improved a lot. Qin Yun was quite satisfied with this improvement. If he were to do it himself, he would not be able to reach this level. Yun, thank you, Qin Yun said very happily, and then used the forging hammer to forge the Xian Yuan steel. After forging, the quality of Xian Yuan steel could be improved a little. During this hour, Qin Yun had been desperately attacking the piece of Xian Yuan steel. Finally, 4 hours were up. Qin Yun was sweating profusely as he finally stopped. His piece of Xian Yuan steel had also become much smaller. It's so small, it's certainly not heavy. Long Quan walked over and took the piece of Xian Yuan steel. His complexion slightly changed, because according to his feeling, the Xian Yuan steel that Qin Yun had refined was very heavy, close to 3 kilograms. Quickly weigh it, Qin Yun said with a smile. Long Quan quickly took out the equipment to weigh it, and his complexion became incomparably ugly. 3 genes and 2 tails. Qin Yun said with a smile, I won. Everyone was in an uproar. Qin Yun had won. Many people looked at each other in disbelief. Many of the people present were old Xian or spirit inscriptionists. They all knew Long Quan's level, but now, in terms of refining materials, he actually lost to a young man. Qin Yun had actually won the match by a small margin. The faces of Long Quan and Long Yuedao are ugly to the extreme, especially Long Yuedao, because the bottle of inherited Xian dragon blood was originally meant for him. Take out your inherited Xian dragon blood. Qin Yun's victory was not easy. Chu Binyu, Jin Lang, and the bald-headed man were all in disbelief. They did not expect Qin Yun to have such a profound level in refining materials. Even Chu Binyu was inferior to Qin Yun. Mu Feng knew Qin Yun rather well, but he was still extremely surprised. With Qin Yun's cultivation level at the 9th level of the martial Dao, it was impossible for him to refine Xian Yuan steel of such quality. If he was a spirit martial realm martial master, it would make sense. No matter how Mu Feng thought about it, he could only believe that it was thanks to Qin Yun's many Dao cores. Don't tell me you want to act shamelessly? Qin Yun smiled and said, That's not good. Chu Binyu smiled and said, If you want to act shamelessly, you definitely won't be able to leave the Southern Inscription Palace Hall. The ball man also nodded and then quickly went over to block Long Yuedao and Long Quan. Long Quan's heart was filled with hatred. His face was filled with unwillingness as he slowly took out a bottle. The white bottle contains Xian dragon blood. Long Quan's hand trembled as he handed over the bottle. Qin Yun took it and opened it and looked at it. After Ling Yun's appraisal, it was indeed a real thing. Qin Yun, I want to buy this bottle of Xian dragon blood from you. I will pay. Long Quan just finished speaking and saw Qin Yun drink it in one gulp. Long Quan and Long Yuedao suddenly cursed in their hearts. Chu Binyu was also speechless. He originally planned to study it a little. Now it was all drunk by Qin Yun. You too, I'm really grateful to you. Although I have a death feud with the Long family, you still gave me a bottle of Xian dragon blood. I, Qin Yun, am grateful. Qin Yun said with a smile, his face full of sincere gratitude. Long Quan was so angry that he couldn't stand still. You... Qin Yun drank the Xian dragon blood on the spot, and it was also Ling Yun who asked him to do it. He was worried that it would be taken back or asked for by Chu Binyu. By the way, how did you get this Xian dragon blood? I heard that the Long family can only refine a bottle in 100 years. You just gave it to me. Won't you be blamed by the Long family? If possible, I also want to ask you for a bottle. The taste is not bad, a little sweet. Every word in Qin Yun's words was like a needle, stabbing the heart of the Long father and son. Qin Yun, you drank the Xian dragon blood. The consequences are very serious. Long Yuedao was so angry that blue veins appeared. Did you poison it? Qin Yun deliberately pretended to be very frightened. The Xian dragon blood was originally given to me. I want to take it back, and under the guidance of my master, I will integrate the Xian dragon blood. You eat my Xian dragon blood. Medicine Immortal Valley will not let you go. Long Yuedao clenched his fists in anger, and his eyes almost spewed fire. He could not wait to eat Qin Yun. Qin Yun suddenly frowned and said, "Your father lost the Xian dragon blood to me. Why is Medicine Immortal Valley looking for trouble with me? This doesn't make sense." Because it is something that belongs to me. Long Yuedao was also incoherent. I am an excellent disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley, a top genius. Medicine Immortal Valley will definitely help me. Tower, let's go. Long Quan pulled Long Yuedao and quickly left. What is funny is that Yang Qiangjin of the Yang family, no one knows where she left. Chu Binyu said, "Qin Yun, you just drank the Xian dragon blood. Quickly refine it." Okay. Qin Yun followed a person and came to a secret room. Qin Yun himself has the heavenly lion bloodline. If he absorbs the Xian dragon blood, he can improve his bloodline and cultivate the heavenly lion Xian body. Yun'er, what should I do now? Also with the guidance of Ling Yun'er, he dared to mess around. Yun'er is his Tao spirit and is one with his soul refining. Once he dies, Yun'er will also die, so she will certainly not harm him. To cultivate the heavenly lion Xian body, you need to fuse the bloodline and totem rune together. You may also need to fuse the thunder and fire Tao core. Ling Yun'er said, maybe you will also need to fuse the dragon and tiger totem. What about the vibration Tao core? Will there be any problems? Qin Yun felt that the heavenly lion's arm, suddenly missing the Tao core, will not be used to it. This is not certain. If the vibration Tao core and thunder and fire Tao core are integrated into the body, it would also be very good. In this way, your flesh and bones will have the characteristics of vibration and thunder and fire. Isn't it very strong? At that time, it will be more convenient for you to use the power of divine power. Ling Yun'er said expectantly. Qin Yun thought for a moment. So in the future, will I mainly cultivate the Nether Sun martial spirit? If my heart doesn't have the vibration martial spirit, will my defense drop? You can rest assured that the vibration martial spirit and thunder and fire martial spirit are only integrated into your flesh and bones and are still with you. Your heavenly lion totem will also be completely integrated with your body to cultivate the heavenly lion Xian body. At that time, your body will be much stronger than it is now. Maybe it will be much easier to cultivate the bone spirit. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and then did as Ling Yun'er said and took out the sun gathering formation. The sun gathering formation can gather the power of 9 suns to temper the body and put in a lot of purple crystal coins to activate this formation. Then, according to the Star Sun Heart Sutra's Yang, refining body to cultivate the body. Later, Ling Yun'er helped Qin Yun cultivate and guided various energies to converge and fuse. This is a very complicated process. Qin Yun can't do it alone, but Ling Yun'er can do it. She is very proficient in the characteristics of various energies and understands the rules of energy operation. After all, she is a Nether Sun spirit. Nether Sun can devour thousands of powers in the world and all kinds of power, so she knows all kinds of energy like the back of her hand. Qin Yun doesn't know what will happen to him. In short, he now trusts Ling Yun'er very much. More than 10 days passed, and Qin Yun also woke up from the transformation. In the past, after his heavenly lion arm broke out, it was the strongest part of his body. Now, he felt that the power in his whole body is as terrible as the heavenly lion arm. The first moment he woke up, he immediately felt that the abundant power in his body seemed to be roaring, eager to burst out. It's done. Vibration Tao Core and Thunderfire Tao Core are integrated into the body. Ling Yun smiled and said, "You have also successfully cultivated the heavenly lion Xian body." Qin Yun only felt that the power of the vibration martial spirit has become stronger and the control of the earthquake divine ability is more arbitrary. In the future, the Nether Sun Tao Core will specifically enhance the heavenly lion Xian body and deliver energy to the Xian body. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun's mind moved, and the vibration martial spirit immediately attached to his body, giving him a stronger vibration power. After he put away the power, he was relieved. Qin Yun, do you want to know how strong the heavenly lion Xian body is? Ling Yun asked with a smile. Yes, Qin Yun said with some excitement. Take out a sharp knife and stab in your hand. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun quickly followed, gritted his teeth, and gently stabbed his palm, but he couldn't stab it. Then he tightened the flesh of his palm, making the flesh of his palm as hard as iron. After the tip of the knife was forcefully stabbed into the stiff palm, it broke in an instant. That is the tip of a royal-grade spirit tool. My body is as strong as a Xian tool. Qin Yun was shocked. Not really. If you meet a strong person who uses a Xian tool to attack you, it can still cause great harm to you. However, if a spirit martial realm martial master is not strong, even if they use a Xian tool to attack you, it will be difficult to cause great harm to your body. There is also the power of Xian talisman. If you're hit by Xian talisman, you'll also be injured. You should pay attention to it. Ling Yun warned. So do I still have 3 Tao cores now? Qin Yun couldn't understand his own situation. Your heavenly lion Xian body is equivalent to a powerful defensive Tao core. 2 Tao cores are equivalent to a fusion with the Xian body. It is one. Ling Yun said with a smile. When you cultivate in the future, you still need to cultivate the weight of 3 Tao cores. Ling Yun said. Qin Yun also understood a lot. His vibration Tao core and thunder and fire Tao core integrated in his body and turned into heavenly lion Xian body. In this way, the heavenly lion Xian body is a great Tao core, and the whole body is a carrier of energy. Qin Yun also felt that his whole body is full of energy. With just a thought, he can condense powerful primordial Tao power. He changed into a set of clean black saber hall clothes and went to the lobby outside. From an old man, he learned that Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan followed Jian Lang and Chu Binyu to the gate of the Immortal Weapon Palace. Chapter 542. 542 Chapter 542 Temporary Disciple Special Temporary Disciple is a temporary representative of Immortal Weapon City to do something. Qin Yun remembered that Mu Feng said before that the 5 immortal sects and the Divine Inscription Palace discovered a heavenly beast desolate domain. Because this heavenly beast desolate domain is protected by the 9 suns, only martial Tao 9th level can enter. If it exceeds this cultivation level, it is impossible to enter inside. Among the outer sect disciples of the 5 immortal sects, there are also many excellent martial Tao 9th level disciples. Because there are many good seedlings, the 5 immortal sects are not willing to let 2 good disciples go to the heavenly beast desolate domain. And they want to get the things inside. So they recruit some temporary disciples. If these disciples can have an outstanding performance in the heavenly beast desolate domain, they can become real immortal sect disciples. As a result, many martial Tao 9th level who want to enter the immortal sect have come to take the assessment. The children of the 5 clans and the top 10 families have come from all over the world. Other immortal sects are also following the example of Immortal Weapon City and are also recruiting disciples to join. Qin Yun also quickly went to the gate of Immortal Weapon Palace. Immortal Weapon Palace, spacious and located in the middle of Immortal Weapon City. This is also the core of Immortal Weapon City, one of the super sects of the 5 immortal sects. There are many tall buildings in Immortal Weapon City, but there are no buildings in this Immortal Weapon Palace, but there are many mountains inside. It looks like a small mountain group. To enter this Immortal Weapon Palace, it is very strict. Therefore, The recruitment of disciples is only held in front of the gate. This is an opportunity to become a disciple of Immortal Weapon City. Also, the attraction of the heavenly beast desolate domain is very great. Qin Yin wants to seize this opportunity and become a disciple of Immortal Sect. He soon came to the gate of Immortal Weapon Palace. There are a lot of people here. All of them are young masters of aristocratic families with status, and there are also some disciples of second and third-rate sections. They may be very arrogant in their own territory, but when they come here, they can only lower their proud heads, because they dare not be arrogant in front of the disciples of Immortal Sect, especially when they just learned that Lu Jingming is a heaven-defying existence. They're even more afraid of this kind of Immortal Sect. In the Immortal Sect, there are many kinds of geniuses. As soon as Qin Yin arrived, he saw Mu Feng. Mu Feng is a fat man, and his clothes are more ostentatious, very easy to recognize. Jian Lang and Chu Binyu were also watching over there. Qin Yin walked over and realized that Chu Binyu and the Divine Inscription Palace were responsible for the recruitment of temporary disciples. In the Immortal Weapon City, the Eastern Inscription Palace, the Southern Inscription Palace, and the Western Inscription Palace all have a good relationship with the Immortal Weapon City. Only the Northern Inscription Palace is a force of the Medicine Immortal Valley. Only when the Immortal Weapon City was opened did the Medicine Immortal Valley place a spy here. But now, the Northern Inscription Palace was going to be closed for 5 years, and the two Inscription Palaces in the Southwest and Southwest could both open branch palaces. In 5 years, the Northern Inscription Palace would definitely collapse. And all of this was caused by Qin Yin. Medicine Immortal Valley lost so much power here. They will definitely remember Qin Yin. Qin Yin, how do you feel about obtaining the Dragon Bloodline? Chu Binyu asked with a smile. This Chu Binyu looks like an amiable old man, but Qin Yin knows very well that this Villa Master is definitely not someone who is easy to deal with. Jian Lang has been cheated before. It's all right. I have to find someone to practice with to know the effect. Qin Yin said with a smile. Yu Wulan and Tian Ruling are also here. Qin Yin quickly greeted them and asked, Big sister, second sister, do you also want to become temporary disciples? Well, we are the first in the saber sword attack and defense battle, so we can directly become temporary disciples without assessment. Yu Wulan laughed. This is great. I don't want to take any boring assessment. Qin Yin breathed a sigh of relief. As long as you work hard, you could become an outer sect disciple of the Immortal Weapon City from a temporary disciple. You can rest assured that even if you become a disciple of the Immortal Weapon City, you can go back to the Saber Sword Villa in the future. Many of us who entered the Immortal Sect are also like this. Chu Binyu laughed. This kind of thing, the Immortal Sect does not care much about it. Instead, they strongly support it. Because in this way, those small sects will become the subsidiary sects of the Immortal Sects over time. Temporary disciples, to put it bluntly, are used to fight for their lives. Qin Yin shook his head and smiled. If you want to enter the Immortal Sect, you have to pay some price. Jian Lang said, if I were 9th level Martial Dao Realm, I would also want to join in the fun now. The time to accept the registration assessment is 1 month. Jian Meng also came. Although he had to take the assessment, it was easy to pass. Soon, the assessment was over, and finally more than 200 people passed the assessment. There were tens of thousands of people who took the assessment, but only 200 people could pass. In addition to the requirements of various aspects, there is also an age limit, no more than 30 years old. And on the last day, there is even a martial spirit and Dao core test. This seems to be a sudden requirement. That is, people with dual martial spirit and dual Dao core are not allowed to enter. The specific reason is not said. Mu Feng frowned and looked at Qin Yin. He said, Qin Yin, you have dual martial spirit. I am afraid you can't go in. You withdraw yourself. So as not to be announced when the time comes is not good. It's okay. Qin Yin secretly rejoiced. His vibration martial spirit and thunderfire martial spirit are integrated into his body. Dao core is also compatible with the Xian body and coexist in another way. In this case, he does not belong to dual Dao core and dual martial spirit. However, Qin Yun still went to line up for the test. To his surprise, there are actually several people with dual Dao core. Although they can't enter the heavenly beast desolate domain, they also get attention. After all, they are young people with dual martial spirit and dual Dao core. When Qin Yun lined up for the test, he passed very smoothly. This made Mu Feng dumbfounded. He knew very well that the crystal ball is very powerful, and it is absolutely impossible to deceive, but Qin Yun can pass. Chu Binyu and Jianlang also felt a little surprised. They knew that Qin Yun released the power of thunder and fire attributes, and they are very terrible. They thought that Qin Yun has dual martial spirit. Qin Yun wore a straw hat, and after a simple disguise, as long as he does not say his name, he will not attract attention. You know, after he won against Long Quan and Long Yuedao, he received a lot of attention. After all, his inscription technique is very strong, but he did not ask for a badge, so people think that he is really a beginner. After selecting the temporary disciple, a huge ship flew out of the Immortal Weapon Palace. Jianlang did not follow the ship. He wanted to return to Saber Sword Villa. As a result, Tian Ruling, Yu Wulan, Qin Yun, and Jian Mang formed a 4-person team. All 4 of them are extremely strong 9th-level martial Dao realm. Chu Binyu wants to send the 4 of them to the heavenly beast desolate domain and wait for them to come out, so he has to follow. Because Chu Binyu's status is very high, they have a luxurious suite on the flying ship. I guess Long Wuchen and Yang Mutian will definitely come. I just don't know which immortal sect will they be temporary disciples. Although Jian Mang can't see, his hearing is excellent and he knows a lot of things. Chu Binyu smiled and said, not only the immortal sects have temporary disciples, the 5-star sects and the 3 moon sects will also send disciples. This kind of big event, they must get involved. The good things in the heavenly beast desolate domain, even the immortal sects value them, let alone these sections. Why restrict people with dual Dao core to enter? Tian Ruling asked with some doubts. Because the guy with dual Dao core is too strong. Once he enters, he will break the balance. Chu Binyu's face became slightly dignified and looked at Qin Yun. Qin Yun, you have too many Dao tools. I hope you won't be restricted by them. My Dao tools have not been sacrificially refined. What are they afraid of? Qin Yun curled his lips. Just when Chu Binyu was worried about this, someone came up and knocked on the door. The person who knocked on the door was a middle-aged man dressed in blue. Old Chu, there is something I want to talk to you about. The middle-aged man came in and looked at Qin Yun. You say it. Chu Binyu quickly asked the middle-aged man to sit down. I won't sit down, I will simply say it. The middle-aged man in blue said, this is because of Qin Yun. Qin Yun did not take the assessment and can become a temporary disciple, which makes many temporary disciples dissatisfied, and there are conflicts outside. Chu Binyu said, a group of temporary disciples, so what if they're dissatisfied? Let them make trouble. Old Chu, this group of disciples is inciting trouble. If we don't appease them, they may not enter the heavenly beast desolate domain. When we have so few temporary disciples, it will be hard to explain to the higher-ups. The middle-aged man in blue said with a face full of embarrassment. Who incited them? Chu Binyu's always kind and kind face suddenly became gloomy and terrible. I don't know, but I guess it may be the Long family or the Yang family in Immortal Weapon City. There are also people from these 2 families in our Immortal Weapon City. The middle-aged man in blue looked at Qin Yun and said, if you want to appease them, you can only let Qin Yun go for an assessment. This is no problem. Qin Yun smiled and said, I thought I didn't have to bother. I didn't expect that I still can't escape. Later, they came to a spacious hall in the cabin. The more than 200 temporary disciples who made trouble are here. The assessment you have taken, Qin Yun will also go through it again, so that you are convinced. After Chu Binyu came in, he smiled, but there was an invisible coldness in his eyes, which made this group of temporary disciples feel frightened. Qin Yun smiled and said, what is the content of the assessment? It should be very simple. A disciple snorted. Arrogant guy, how can it be simple? More than 10,000 people took the assessment, and only more than 200 people passed. It can be seen how difficult the assessment is. He's a guy who only knows how to use good weapons. Of course, he does not know the importance of his own strength. He will only use Xian tools and Dao tools. This guy has no strength at all. Qin Yun knew at a glance that these disciples were instigated by someone behind them. They did not want him to become a temporary disciple too easily. You say that I am so unbearable, then directly compete with me. I don't use weapons and I don't wear armor. Chapter 543. 543 Chapter 543 Power of Xian Body. You are all temporary disciples who have passed the assessment. If Qin Yun can defeat you, it is equivalent to passing the assessment. You might have to fight together in the future, so you should take this opportunity to learn from each other. Chu Binyu patted Qin Yun's shoulder and said with a smile, If I defeat you, do I have a Dao tool? If not, I won't bother to fight with a guy like you. A short-haired, yellow-clothed youth coldly looked at Qin Yun with a disdainful expression. The people here are all young disciples. Usually, in their own families or sects, they're all very strong, 9th-level martial Dao. They're all young and vigorous. Each and every one of them is extremely arrogant. These people also have a rebellious mentality, especially because Qin Yun is very famous. They are all unconvinced by Qin Yun. Even because they're jealous of Qin Yun's fame, they have a lot of prejudice against Qin Yun. Qin Yun has seen many people like this. For people like this, all he needed to do was beat them up. I can take out a Dao tool for you. What can you take out for me? Qin Yun found it funny and asked expressionlessly, I can fight with you. That's because I think highly of you. You still want me to give you that thing? Dream on. The yellow-clothed youth raised his eyebrows and sneered arrogantly. A young man, standing not far away, also sneered. If you don't use weapons, you should just take the assessment honestly. If you fight with us, you have no chance of winning. Your saber sword villa doesn't use sabers and swords. You're simply a weak chicken. How can you be our match? My Wild Fist sect, Supreme Wild Fist, is an existence that can rival Xian tools and Dao tools. Moreover, we have never liked trash who use weapons. The yellow-clothed youth's eyes are filled with disdain as he looked at Qin Yun and company. These words are very offensive because there are many people here who use weapons. All right then, since you're giving me face, I will ask you for a few pointers. As long as you can defeat me, I will give you a Dao tool. Qin Yun said with a smile, You don't like to use weapons. I will give you a Dao armor. All right, if you go back on your word, you will be the enemy of our Wild Fist sect. Just wait for us to suppress you. The yellow-clothed youth's face is filled with pride as he rubbed his red fists. He has already begun to accumulate strength. Everyone hurriedly moved aside, and the barrier in the middle opened. Huang Canyuan, don't cripple him. We still have to continue fighting, and we have to obtain his Dao tool. Right, as long as we beat him to the ground. An arrogant guy, like Qin Yun, should be taught a lesson in turn. The Long family and the Yang family have a very good relationship with our sect. They're also enemies of our sect. Inside this guy's Dao tool, there is still the Yang family's martial monarch locked up. We must beat him until he releases the martial monarch. At this moment, a few young disciples shouted one after another. Then, they walked to a place and lined up, preparing to take turns attacking Qin Yun. Although Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan were angry in their hearts, they did not say a word because they knew Qin Yun's strength. Qin Yun looked at Huang Canyuan and said, I let you attack first. Qin Yun looked at Huang. Qin Yun looked. Huang. Qin Huang Yun to Yun to of Huang. Yun Tian. Qin Yun endured the anger in his heart and slowly took off his clothes. He guessed that among the 200 temporary disciples, there must be people from the Yang and Long families. Otherwise, Huang Canyuan would not be working so hard to get those two families. The reason he did this was to obtain the approval of the Long and Yang families and then build a good relationship with them. Because compared to the Saber Sword Villa, they felt that the Yang and Long families were stronger. Naturally, they hoped to obtain the appreciation of these two families. When Huang Canyuan saw that Qin Yun did not use any weapons or armor, he He smiled proudly and said, "You dog, I will definitely beat you to the ground. I want to avenge the dead Long and Yang family members." "You are a dog from the Yang and Long families?" Qin Yun asked with a sneer. "Qin Yun, you dare to scold me? I will smash your mouth." As Huang Qinyuan spoke, his fists suddenly overflowed with Dao power, producing a whistling sound. "I'm not scolding you. I'm just speaking the truth." Qin Yun did not circulate his power. Instead, he looked at Huang Qinyuan indifferently. "Qin Yun, you are indeed a lowly dog." Huang Qinyuan looked at Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan and said with a laugh, "You a dog, accompany two bitches. You should be considered a rather capable dog." Tian Ruling was so angry that she wanted to rush over and kill Huang Qinyuan. "Qin Yun, you lowly dog, watch how I teach you a lesson." Huang Qinyuan charged forward with an incomparably ferocious aura. Supreme Berserk Fist is a high-grade Earth-tier martial art. Huang Qinyuan has mastered it to the large success stage. His punches are like violent thunder and astral winds. Qin Yun won't be able to take a punch. When Huang Qinyuan saw that Qin Yun did not dodge and was full of openings, he was secretly delighted. He punched Qin Yun's abdomen. Boom! The fist landed on Qin Yun's abdomen, creating a violent wave of air. However, Qin Yun stood motionlessly on the spot, not even frowning. His upper body was bare, and it could be seen that he was not wearing a Dao armor. However, Huang Qinyuan's punch was unable to shake it. Is this the power of Supreme Berserk Fist? So powerful. Qin Yun's voice was flat, but to everyone, it was filled with endless sarcasm. "You die for me." Huang Qinyuan punched again and again, constantly attacking Qin Yun's abdomen. Boom, boom, boom. After a series of punches, Qin Yun actually stood there motionless. Qin Yun finally experienced the power of the heavenly lion Xian body. A martial artist at the 9th level martial Dao realm like this could not shake that powerful body with bare hands. One must know that his heavenly lion Xian body is a fusion of vibration martial spirit and thunderfire martial spirit, as well as 2 Dao cores. The defense is incomparably strong. There is no need to use the power of vibration to defend himself. "Qin Yun, I will castrate you." Huang Qinyuan shouted furiously, took out a short knife, and stabbed it between Qin Yun's legs. Qin Yun attacked like lightning and kicked Huang Qinyuan's abdomen. That kick contained the power of vibration and thunder and fire. This is the power of Qin Yun's body. His body can casually attack, and it can instantly and naturally release the power of vibration and thunderfire. Coupled with the power of the heavenly lion bloodline, it is terrifying to the extreme. After Huang Qinyuan was kicked by Qin Yun, he hit the barrier and spat out a big mouthful of blood. Qin Yun arrived beside Huang Qinyuan in a flash and stepped on his face. "Didn't you just scold me very happily? Save me, I'm going to die." Huang Qinyuan was immediately terrified to the extreme. He just experienced the terror of Qin Yun. The barriers suddenly opened, and a burly young man in golden clothes walked in and said coldly, "Qin Yun, I am a disciple of the Long family. Let me teach you a lesson." With that, the young man from the Long family also rushed over and slapped. Although Qin Yun is not afraid of the palm, this is a slap to the face, so even if it is not painful, he cannot be hit, so he quickly avoided. Huang Qinyuan's face was stepped on by Qin Yun just now, and it is very painful, because thunderfire power is constantly burning his face. "Boss Long, thank you for saving me. I, Huang Qinyuan, will be yours from now on." Huang Qinyuan is so grateful that he cried bitter tears and promptly kowtowed to the young man from the Long family. Just this little bit. Qin Yun cannot help but find it funny. Huang Qinyuan really did not expect that Qin Yun would be so dreadful. He originally thought that he would be killed by Qin Yun, and the Long family suddenly saved him. Naturally, he is very grateful. Moreover, he originally wanted to curry favor with the Long family. Truly despicable. Yu Wulan coldly snorted. This kind of person can actually become a temporary disciple. Tian Ruling shook her head and sighed. The burly young man from the Long family said coldly, Qin Yun, it seems like you have cultivated the dragon bloodline. However, only our Long family knows how to use the dragon bloodline. A thing like you is simply not worthy of possessing the dragon bloodline inheritance. Today, I will let you know the terror of us dragon blood cultivators. After the barrier was opened, the youth from the Long family fiercely charged at Qin Yun. The aura on his body was like the roar of a dragon. He waved his palm and condensed golden primordial Tao power into a mighty dragon head, dragon dancing in the heavenly sea. The young man from the Long family struck out with his palm, and a wild dragon roared angrily. His aura was like a giant dragon wreaking havoc in the sea, and it was extremely frightening. When the temporary disciples saw this, they suddenly let out a burst of exclamations, praises, and sighs. They all looked at the disciples of the Long family with incomparable admiration. This palm strike was meant to slap Qin Yun in the face. However, just as he was about to hit, his palm was suddenly grabbed by Qin Yun. The palm that was surging with primordial Tao energy was like a dragon claw. It seemed to contain a powerful might, but it was easily stopped by Qin Yun with a single grab. A dragon blood warrior? It's nothing more than this. Qin Yun swung his arm vigorously and shot out a violent thunder and fire power that poured into the arm. Crackle! A series of explosions rang out. It was as if firecrackers had gone off inside the young man's arm. The young man from the Long family also cried out in pain. Many holes had been blown up in his arm. The blue-clothed middle-aged man removed the barrier and hurriedly walked in. The next person who does not accept Qin Yun, please go in and compete. The blue-clothed middle-aged man looked at the group of people queuing up and said, "Are you all queuing up here to enter?" At this moment, the 200 or so temporary disciples had no choice but to admit Qin Yun's formidable strength. The disciples of the Long family were already so terrifying, but they were taken care of by Qin Yun in a few moves. Qin Yun is even stronger, Jian Meng suddenly said. That's right. Is it because of the dragon bloodline? Tian Ruling also nodded. This guy might be able to defeat the spirit martial realm with his bare hands. Chu Binyu said with a smile. The few youths who were originally queuing up to enter also had faces full of embarrassment and fear. They all returned to the side, not daring to approach the martial arena in the middle. Now, who else doesn't accept Qin Yun? Chu Binyu asked in a clear voice. No one made a sound. Chapter 544. Twisted Space. Everyone saw the defeat of the Long family disciples and Huang Canyuan and did not dare to say anything. The disciples of the Long family and the Yang family are the main instigators, and now they do not dare to look at Chu Binyu. Now, everyone has seen Qin Yun's strength with their own eyes, and they dare not doubt it anymore, let alone underestimate it. After Qin Yun showed his powerful strength, it also made the temporary disciples here secretly worried that Qin Yun would remember them in the future. Chu Binyu took Qin Yun and they left, and the group of disciples dared to whisper about Qin Yun's horror. The ship flew for more than 10 days and entered the magical desolate. In the magical desolate, many areas are smoky and they don't know the reason. But there are also some good places. The flying ship of a mortal weapon city is flying to an area with mountains and rivers and pleasant scenery. It was a very large, ancient forest, and there were many magical beasts inside. As soon as the flying ship entered, it encountered several large birds and lizard dragons with a body length of tens of meters, all very powerful magical beasts. Fortunately, the flying ship has a strong enough defense, so it was not attacked by those magical beasts in the air. This is a famous area of the magical desolate called the ancient demon forest. There are many primitive magical beasts or ancient demons here. Chu Binyu looked at the scenery below from the window and said, "No wonder the heavenly beast desolate domain is here." Qin Yun said, "We'll be there soon. Do you see that mountain?" Chu Binyu pointed to an iceberg in the distance. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan both nodded. The top of the iceberg is flat, and there is a very spacious platform. In the air above the platform, there were many flying ships or giant flying magic treasures floating in the air. Many people from other sects have come here. The entrance is on the top of the mountain. Qinyan was somewhat surprised. A long time ago, someone explored the desolate domain here. After many years of exploration and many attempts, a passage was opened during this time. Chu Binyu nodded. Not long after, the flying ship arrived at the top of the iceberg. Although it is cold here, for the martial artists of the 9th level martial Dao realm, this cold is nothing at all. Moreover, the top of the mountain is relatively calm, and there is no wind or snow. The temporary disciples of the immortal weapon city also jumped down from the ship. After landing on the ground, many disciples from other immortal sects surrounded them. Chu Binyu also smiled and greeted the elders of other sections. Chu Binyu, how many outer sect disciples of the immortal weapon city have come? A red-clothed old man asked. I'm not responsible for the outer sect disciples. Chu Binyu smiled. I forgot that you're just a guest elder. The old man in red said with a hint of mockery. How many disciples did your myriad star sect send in? Chu Binyu was still smiling. I can't tell you that. At this moment, many elders and disciples of the various sects had gathered around them. Qinyan also saw some outer sect disciples of the immortal sections. Their auras were far stronger than the temporary disciples. Furthermore, they were even more arrogant. I heard that Qinyan also came. Really? A gray-robed, middle-aged man with slightly white hair looked at Qinyan and the group of temporary disciples. Chu Binyu nodded. Are you looking for trouble with them? But now is not the time. Rest assured, we are not the people of the Long family and the Yang family. Even if it is them, I am afraid they will not dare to come. The middle-aged man in gray robes said, We have just discussed that Qinyan is not allowed to go in because he has a Dao tool and will break the balance of power. Chu Binyu frowned and said, I will temporarily keep his Dao tool. How about that? That won't do. Who knows how many Dao tools he has? In short, he can't enter the heavenly beast desolate domain. The middle-aged man in gray robe said coldly, We Medicine Immortal Valley will try our best to stop you. Chu Binyu, you are just an elder. Do you want to provoke us on behalf of the Immortal Weapon City? Chu Binyu sighed slightly, but his heart was full of anger. Qinyan is a very strong 9th level martial Dao realm. If he enters the heavenly beast desolate domain, he will definitely be able to deal with many things. What did the elder of the Immortal Weapon City say? Chu Binyu asked. An old man in white robe slowly came. This is the official elder of the Immortal Weapon City. Chu Binyu couldn't help but frown because this old man is a member of the Tian family. Qinyan has a Dao tool. Even a martial master who just entered the spirit martial realm is not his opponent. Yes, if he goes in and kills us, what should we do? We can't beat him at all. We must not let him in. I heard that he is ruthless and killed a lot of people from the Long and Yang families. If we let him in, we will be in danger. The 9th level martial Dao realm disciples of other sects also protested. Although Qinyan is a temporary disciple of our immortal weapon city, he will bring a great threat to people. So I also oppose him going in. The elder of the immortal weapon city said. Because of the matter of Tian ruling, the Tian family was also questioned by the Long and Yang families every 2 or 3 days. And they did not dare to deal with Tian ruling, worried that the patriarch of the Tian family would be wanted. I won't go in. Are you relieved? Qinyan suddenly shouted. Everyone immediately looked at him and remembered his appearance in their hearts. Even if you want to go in, it is impossible. We are responsible for guarding the gate to enter the heavenly beast desolate domain. An old man sneered. By the way, I used an ancient Dao tool to put a bounty on the heads of the 2 patriarchs of the Long and Yang families. Do you all know about this? Qinyan said, took out a few Dao tools and said, This is an ancient Dao tool. If you kill the 2 patriarchs of the Long and Yang families, you can get it. With a guarantee of Demon Moon Island, I will never break my promise. There are also many people from the Long and Yang families here. At this time, their faces are very ugly. Also because of Qinyan's bounty, the 2 patriarchs, when they go out, they are hiding. Even their own friends have to be wary of them. There are some martial kings here, and even the old men who are stronger than the martial kings. Although they're expressionless, their hearts are also thinking about the heads of the two patriarchs. Qin Yun knew that this matter must be driven by the Long and Yang families behind it, and not let him in. So he also reminded the two families to let them know the situation at this time. Originally, Tian Ruling and Yuan did not want to go in, but Qin Yun let them go and first enter the Immortal Weapon Palace to become Outer Sect disciples. After you go in, as long as you can get heavenly beast eggs or bones, you can become Outer Sect disciples. The time is 3 months. Chu Binyu said. More than 200 temporary disciples nodded their heads in agreement. Qin Yun, you missed a chance to enter the Immortal Sect. As long as I can enter the Immortal Sect, I will soon be able to step into the spirit martial realm. At that time, you can only look up to me. When Huang Qinyuan passed by Qin Yun, he laughed proudly. The young man of the Long family is also proud and whispered, Qin Yun, you can rest assured that we will take good care of you Wulan and Tian Ruling. When Qin Yun heard this, he suddenly became angry. He wanted to fight, but was stopped by Chu Binyu. Because here, there are also powerful elders of the Long family. If Qin Yun fights here, he will definitely be attacked. Soon, those temporary disciples walked towards a white light curtain and entered the heavenly beast desolate domain through the space channel. Qin Yun flew back to the big ship, and Chu Binyu also came in with a face full of regret. Villa Master, they deliberately restricted me from going in. Are they really afraid of my Dao tools? Qin Yun asked. If I'm not wrong, the heavenly beast desolate domain is not really restricted to the 9th level martial Dao realm. Martial masters who have just entered the spirit martial realm should also be able to go in. If you have a Dao tool, even a martial master who has just entered the spirit martial realm is not your opponent. Chu Binyu also just learned about this because he just sensed some aura of the spirit martial realm. In this way, the temporary disciples of the 9th level martial Dao realm will not be able to do odd jobs after entering. Qin Yun snorted. It should be like this. Chu Binyu sighed helplessly. You can't go in, it's a pity. At this time, it is also evening and night is slowly falling. I'm going out to relax. Qin Yun said hello to Chu Binyu and flew out of the window. Chu Binyu just wanted to say something, but he couldn't see Qin Yun's figure. The reason why Qin Yun suddenly left is that Ling Yin'er told him that there are other ways to enter the heavenly beast desolate land. But this needs to be done secretly, so he left the big ship. Qin Yun came to the mountainside of the iceberg, and according to Ling Yin'er, he secretly dug a hole and entered the inside of the iceberg. Yin'er, I came to the inside of the iceberg, what about now? Qin Yun thought that there was an entrance inside, but there was nothing. Your Nether Sun martial spirit has the power of divine ability. If it is released to the limit, it should be able to distort the space and open an entrance to the desolate domain. Ling Yin'er's words surprised Qin Yun. What should I do? If I release the divine ability, will I not be devoured? The divine ability released by the Nether Sun martial spirit is too powerful. I will lose control. Qin Yun said, let me control it. Ling Yin'er said, it may be a little painful. Good. Qin Yun nodded. Ling Yin'er immediately began to control the Nether Sun martial spirit to release the powerful divine ability. Soon, Qin Yun felt the pain in his body, and a large amount of violent power surged out from the Nether Sun Dao core. He cultivated the heavenly lion Xian body and still can't withstand this terrible power. Just bear with it. Ling Yin'er's voice just fell. Suddenly there was a sharp pain, violently hit Qin Yun's whole body. The Nether Sun Dao core condensed a very terrible divine ability. Qin Yun also sensed that there are signs of space fluctuations around his body. Not long after, his body gradually integrated into the fluctuating space. Okay, Ling Yin'er also breathed a sigh of relief. The place you just said is the weak point of the space, so you can succeed. Qin Yun entered the heavenly beast desolate domain. Lying on the ground, looking at the stars in the night sky, he took a long sigh. The power released just now also consumed a lot of his energy. Chapter 545. Little heavenly beast Qin Yun floated in the air, with the soft light of the stars and moon, overlooking the heavenly beast desolate domain. Here, like the outside, is a large ancient jungle, some areas are depressions. There is also a winding river that ran through this vast ancient forest. This desolate domain is really mysterious. I have to find a way to find a heavenly beast and get a heavenly beast bone or something. Qin Yun doesn't know if he can find a heavenly beast. Little Yun, although the heavenly beasts here are all young, but the young heavenly beasts are very powerful. Ling Yun said, some young heavenly beasts have the strength of Martial King. What? How can it be so terrible? Why is Yang Yang, the ninth heaven Xian sparrow, a very weak duckling? Qin Yun was also scared by the strength of the heavenly beast. Yang Yang is in the nascent stage. After the nascent stage, it is the juvenile stage. It may take hundreds of years or thousands of years. Ling Yun said, this duckling is really hard to raise. Qin Yun sighed. Little Jade Rabbit is also a young heavenly beast, but I don't know what type it is. Ling Yun said again. Qin Yun only knows that Little Jade Rabbit is a Xian beast level. The powerful thing is that it is very fast, eats a lot, and can absorb toxins. Its combat ability seems to be very weak. This heavenly beast desolate domain can let a martial master who just entered the spirit martial realm come in, indicating that most of the strength of the heavenly beast is stronger than those martial masters. Ling Yun said this. Also let Qin Yun pay more attention, knowing that the heavenly beasts here are very strong. Qin Yun also became cautious and quickly used the power of shadow. The power of shadow is also one of the power of Nether Sun that he is currently more proficient in. In the night, Qin Yun flew carefully in the sky, looking at the ground, looking for heavenly beasts. What is the difference between these heavenly beasts and Xian beasts? Qin Yun is very curious about this. Heavenly Lion is a heavenly beast. There is a strong bloodline inheritance in its body. After growing up, it will be stronger than ordinary beasts in all aspects. Ling Yun said, but in this heavenly beast desolate domain, it is impossible to be full of heavenly beasts. There are also other spirit beasts and Xian beasts. Be careful. Qin Yun did not know how to find a heavenly beast. He could only fly randomly. How can I tell if it's a heavenly beast? Qin Yun suddenly saw the thicket below moving, so he immediately flew down. If it's a heavenly beast, its body will have a faint trace of immortal qi. The most powerful thing about heavenly beasts is that they can absorb the immortal energy of the immortal desolate the moment they are born. Ling Yun warned, when you get close, look carefully before you attack. If you attack a powerful heavenly beast, it will be very dangerous. No wonder heavenly beasts are so powerful. Yun'er, I cultivated the heavenly lion Xian body. Why can't I absorb that immortal energy? Qin Yun asked. Only in the immortal weapon city would he be able to absorb very weak immortal energy. Even if you absorb it, it's useless. With your current situation, you are unable to refine the immortal qi. You can only gather it together and release it through the Nether Sun martial spirit. Only if you have an immortal body can you refine immortal energy and make yourself stronger. This is one of the reasons why Lu Jingming is so powerful. When Qin Yun heard Ling Yun's words, he yearned for the immortal body even more. He entered the forest and soon found something. In the distance, there is a silver glow flowing quickly. It's a touch of immortal energy. The heavenly beast has appeared. Qin Yun was excited and quickly chased after it. This heavenly beast is a bit strong. Its strength should be equivalent to the spirit martial realm. Ling Yun said, why is the heavenly beast so small? Qin Yun couldn't help but think of Yang Yang. It is obviously a divine beast, but it is like a duckling. It is not domineering at all. He felt that it should be as huge and majestic as a dragon. Qin Yun used the power of the dragon resisting boots to barely catch up. He also saw what kind of heavenly beast it is. It is a deer. The deer is very small. It looks like it has just been born, and its whole body overflows with silver glow. The little antlers are golden, jumping and jumping. The speed is very fast. Hey, this kind of harmless heavenly beast, don't do it. Ling Yin'er said, you have the heavenly lion Xian body. You should deal with that kind of overbearing heavenly beast. Also, killing this little thing is not in line with my heavenly lion Xian body identity. Qin Yun said to Ling Yun, with a smile. Just as he was about to leave, someone suddenly spoke. That little stupid deer is in front. Chase it. That is a living heavenly beast cub. If we catch it, we will have a big credit. Qin Yun is very familiar with the voice. Qin Yun used the power of shadow to hide, and looked at the group of people who caught up, and soon felt a familiar aura. It's Lu Chongsheng. Qin Yun was shocked. Sure enough, a guy who just entered the spirit martial realm can really enter this heavenly beast desolate domain. This group of people are the disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley and Wood Star Palace. There are more than 20 people in the spirit martial realm and 9th level martial Dao realm. The disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley and Star Sect are really powerful. Qin Yun feels that his speed is already good, but the disciples of Immortal Sects who just entered the spirit martial realm are faster than him. Not long after, several spirit martial realm early-stage martial masters caught up with the little deer. Qin Yun and Lu Chongsheng have hatred. He did not expect to meet him here. Lu Chongsheng can become a spirit martial realm early-stage martial master at a young age. His status in the immortal sects is also very high. He must have a powerful body protection treasure armor. Qin Yun is more surprised. He thought that the 5 great immortal sects and the 5 great star sects would not send outstanding disciples. Now, they sent a top genius like Lu Chongsheng. Do those immortal sects think that a guy like Lu Chongsheng is invincible in this place? Qin Yun chased, and he also had the idea of fighting several times in his heart. However, he was extremely cautious because none of these 20 people are weak. They are the top young disciples in the sect, and they all have good body protection treasure armor. Especially those in the early stage spirit martial realm, their aura is very strong. After the little deer was surrounded, there was no place to run, and it looked very pitiful. This kind person, save me. The little deer suddenly sent a sound transmission to Qin Yun. Qin Yun heard the sound transmission of the little deer, and he was shocked. He used the power of shadow to hide, but he was still discovered by the little deer. You just chased me for a long time and did not attack me. You are a rare kind person. Quickly save me. The voice of the little deer is filled with despair and pleading. Lu Chongsheng suddenly laughed and said, Catch this little thing alive, and we will make a great contribution. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and quickly used the heavenly lion summoning technique to summon 2 nether realm heavenly lions. As soon as the 2 nether realm heavenly lions appeared, they roared, and the terrible heavenly lion roar shook the silent night sky. The birds and beasts in the forest were alarmed. It seems to be heavenly lions, and there are 2 of them. Suddenly, someone shouted, I heard the roar of the heavenly lion from the recording shell. Is it the legendary dragon, slayer, heavenly lion? That was great. Let's take this little thing and slaughter the heavenly lions. Lu Chongsheng is not afraid at all. His proud, handsome face is full of excitement. Qin Yun quickly let the 2 heavenly lions fly over and used the heavenly lion roar. At the same time, he used the sound wave attack, and the lion claws fiercely attacked and used the heavenly lion fighting dragon claw. The nether realm heavenly lion's mouth is also constantly spewing out a black flame. Stay away from the heavenly lions, carry out a long-range attack, and properly arrange the formation. A man who looks a little older quickly commanded. Because the 2 heavenly lions suddenly rushed in, it also disrupted Lu Chongsheng's team. The little deer was able to escape. Qin Yun did not want the heavenly lions to be injured too much. He just fought with Lu Chongsheng for a while and quickly fled and returned to the nether realm. Nether realm heavenly lions are less injured, and the speed of growth will be much faster, and you can also summon them faster. Ling Yin'er said, quickly chased the little deer. Qin Yun immediately chased after it. What he did not expect was that Lu Chongsheng and others also continued to chase the little deer. This group of guys actually did not chase the heavenly lions. It is really not easy to deal with. Lu Chongsheng and others are chasing very closely. After chasing for more than half an hour, the silver light spot in front suddenly stopped. The little deer actually stopped running. When he walked closer, he found that there are 7 women over there. There are 2 women who are very young and beautiful, wearing simple and neat white clothes. One of the women is elegant and smart. Her face is as beautiful as a flower and her eyes are as tender as water. Even if she is wearing a simple dress, she has a kind of peerless temperament. This woman is Feng Honglan. The little deer is curled up at her feet. The other woman had her arms crossed in front of her chest. Her beautiful face was filled with coldness. Her eyes were like stars, emitting a sharp cold aura and killing intent. It made her look slightly heroic and domineering at the same time. This is Qin Yun's wife, Xiao Yuelan. Yuelan and Honglan, they are here too. They are all 9th level martial Dao realm. Qin Yun was amazed. When Xiao Yuelan left, she was only at the 7th level martial Dao realm. The 5 women around Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan are all middle-aged women. Their appearance is relatively ordinary, but they all have the aura of the early stage spirit martial realm. These are the people of the Nethermoon Palace. Yo, it's the girls of the Nethermoon Palace. Lu Chongsheng looked back and forth at the beautiful faces of Feng Honglan and Xiao Yuelan. When these 2 women with different styles stand together, it makes people want to conquer them, especially for a top genius like Lu Chongsheng. Qin Yun hid in the darkness and watched quietly. Let's go. Xiao Yuelan did not want to pay attention to this group of people and snorted coldly. Wait, you can go, but the little thing stays. We met it first. Lu Chongsheng shouted with a cold face. So what if you met it first? But in the end, we got it. You have to blame yourself for not having the ability to catch the deer immediately. Xiao Yuelan sneered coldly. Lu Chongsheng's face changed, and he said coldly, I'm a main sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. Lu Chongsheng, you little girl, give me some respect. What about Medicine Immortal Valley? When Xiao Yuelan heard the name Lu Chongsheng, she immediately knew that this is Qin Yun's enemy, and she hated him even more. Chapter 546. 546 Chapter 546 Yuelan's anger. Feng Honglan and Xiao Yuelan are stunned. They don't understand why these sisters are so respectful to the arrogant guys of Medicine Immortal Valley. Why should I apologize? Xiao Yuelan is very dissatisfied. Sister Yuelan, he is a genius of Medicine Immortal Valley. He entered the spirit martial realm at a young age and became a martial master. He is also an excellent disciple of Wood Star Palace. Yes, he is a disciple of Immortal Sect. You can't be so rude to him. We are disciples of Nethermoon Palace. We have to be polite. Several middle-aged sisters have accused Xiao Yuelan. The slightly shorter middle-aged sister looked at Feng Honglan and shouted, Honglan, quickly catch the deer and give it to Lu Gongzi. Feng Honglan frowned and snorted, not giving. As she spoke, she used her power and gently sent the deer to the distance. The deer suddenly ran far away. You bitch! The middle-aged senior sister shouted angrily. She quickly walked over and fiercely slapped Feng Honglan's gentle and beautiful face. Seeing Feng Honglan being beaten, Qin Yun's heart suddenly rose in anger. You dare to hit Honglan? Xiao Yuelan also shouted. She abruptly took out a saber and slashed at the middle-aged senior sister's arm like a bolt of lightning. Lu Chongsheng and others were also shocked by Xiao Yuelan's actions. They thought that Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan, these 2 girls were young and ignorant, and they were not afraid of their Medicine Immortal Valley. But now it seems that they're not even afraid of their own sex sister. Xiao Yuelan, are you crazy? Several middle-aged sisters quickly surrounded Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan. You are the crazy ones. You actually hit Honglan? I'm not finished with you. Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan have been together for so long, but they are like sisters. She also knows that Feng Honglan is gentle and kind, so she takes good care of Feng Honglan. Qin Yin was not surprised by Xiao Yuelan's actions. If Xiao Yuelan was humble, it would not be Xiao Yuelan. Lu Chongsheng sneered. Several sisters, do you need me to help you take down these two little girls? No need for the time being. Young Master Lu, please don't worry. We will definitely make them apologize to you. The middle-aged senior sister with a broken arm politely said to Lu Chongsheng and then fiercely looked at Xiao Yuelan. Xiao Yuelan said angrily, apologize? No way, unless you kill me. Feng Honglan was also very angry after being slapped. She shouted softly, I really didn't expect that in order to curry favor with the disciples of the immortal sect, you would treat us like this? Shut up. Being polite to the disciples of the immortal sect is what we should do. Now that you've let the little deer escape, it's a loss to young Master Lu. How are you going to compensate us? If you don't pay, don't even think about leaving. The middle-aged senior sister whose arm was chopped off said coldly. Lu Chongsheng said with a wretched smile, let them be my concubines. You bastard, shut up. Xiao Yuelan immediately cursed. Xiao Yuelan, it is your good fortune that young Master Lu has taken a fancy to you. Why don't you hurry up and serve them obediently? The middle-aged senior sister sneered. Why are you so despicable? Xiao Yuelan glared at the middle-aged senior sisters. At the same time, several middle-aged senior sisters of the Nethermoon Palace quickly took out many flags and inserted them nearby. You can't run away. Hurry to calm the anger of young Master Lu. A middle-aged senior sister. Her face was full of a sinister smile. Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan, young and beautiful, and their qualifications are very high. They suddenly entered the Nethermoon Palace, but it caused the jealousy of some female disciples. These middle-aged senior sisters are very jealous. Moreover, they're the kind of people who are greedy for vanity, so they try to please Lu Chongsheng so that they have the opportunity to get close to the people in the immortal sect. Qin Yun quickly summoned 2 Nether Realm Heavenly Lions. After the Nether Realm Heavenly Lions appeared, they roared, and after the aura rushed over, Lu Chongsheng and others frowned. Xiao Yuelan was pleasantly surprised. She knew that it was Qin Yun's Nether Realm Heavenly Lions. After Qin Yun covered his face, he quickly flew over and threw a Thunder Xian talisman. Boom! After a loud noise, Lu Chongsheng and others flew away. Qin Yun had to admit that these excellent disciples of Immortal Sect and Star Sect are very strong in all aspects. They can avoid the attack of the Thunder Xian talisman at once, and they can avoid being affected. Kill! Lu Chongsheng shouted coldly and quickly took out a weapon, which is a very powerful Xian tool. Many Spirit Martial Realm also attacked one after another and hit Qin Yun with various weapons and Xian talismans. Boom, boom, boom. Qin Yun did not expect this group of people to react so quickly, and they were also so willing to fight. All of a sudden, he was hit by many Xian tools and Xian talismans. In the blink of an eye, he was drowned in an explosion. Xiao Yuelan hurriedly used her penetration divine ability and brought Feng Honglan through the barrier. It was also because of Qin Yun's appearance that Xiao Yuelan was able to run away from Lu Chongsheng and others. Xiao Yun, there are more than 10 Spirit Martial Realm here. They're all very strong. Let's go. Xiao Yuelan quickly sent a voice transmission to Qin Yun. Qin Yun rushed out of the explosion. Although his body was cracked by the explosion, he can still use the power of shadow. After Xiao Yuelan ran out of the formation, she waved her saber and killed several disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley and with Star Palace. Qin Yun ran in front with Feng Honglan, and Xiao Yuelan brought up the rear. Yuelan, should we fight it out with them? Qin Yun promptly asked with voice transmission. Don't. They still have people nearby. You were injured just now. Let's go first. Although Xiao Yuelan is sometimes reckless, in the face of a dangerous situation, she is still relatively calm. She also used her shadow power and followed behind Qin Yun and company. Not long after they left, there were many auras of Spirit Martial Realm, which can be seen as the reinforcement of Lu Chongsheng. How many people have come from those immortal sects? Qin Yin ran with Feng Honglan while repairing the damaged heavenly lion Xian body. I heard that each immortal sect has more than a dozen martial masters in the early stage of spirit martial realm, divided into many teams. Xiao Yuelon said, even our Nethermoon Palace has almost 10 spirit martial realm. At dawn, they found a big hole in a tree and hid there. Qin Yun's injury seems to be more serious, but it is only the heavenly lion Xian body injury. The internal organs and Dao core in the body are fine. I am fine. I will be fine after a rest. Qin Yun is next to the tree hole, absorbing the 9 suns' spiritual energy. Feng Honglan walked over and delivered internal force to Qin Yun. She sighed. I didn't expect that there would be such a senior sister in the Nethermoon Palace. You know a person's face, but you don't know his heart. I usually get along well with them. I really didn't expect that they would kneel and lick the disciples of immortal sects. Xiao Yuelon snorted. Feng Honglan was very happy to meet Qin Yun, but when she saw him injured, she was distressed. I'm going to patrol outside. Honglan, you heal Xiao Yun, Xiao Yuelon said, and left the tree hole. Qin Yun shook his head and said, I think you can leave the Nethermoon Palace. In the Nethermoon Palace, there should be many disciples who have the same virtue as those senior sisters. I don't know the specifics, because we haven't been in the Nethermoon Palace for a long time. Feng Honglan was also a little worried. Just now, they wanted to give us to Lu Chongsheng to play with. This is too vicious. The upper beam is not straight. The lower beam is crooked. In the Nethermoon Palace, there must be some high-level people who have such an attitude towards immortal sex. Qin Yin said, after you go back and discuss, leave the Nethermoon Palace quickly. I will arrange for you to enter Demon Moon Island. Demon Moon Island dared to issue a bounty for the 2 patriarchs of the Long and Yang families, which shows that they are fearless and certainly not afraid of those immortal sections. Okay. Feng Honglan nodded. Yinying, Sister Lan, are they okay? Qin Yun asked. It's okay. They didn't come. When I go back, I will go to them to discuss and leave the Nethermoon Palace together. Feng Honglan thought of those vicious senior sisters, and she was very angry. Yueme seems to have joined the Nethermoon Palace. Qin Yun missed this little troublemaker. She just promised verbally. As soon as she came to the Spirit Desolate, she ran away. Feng Honglan smiled. The Nethermoon Palace can't restrain her. What about Sister Steamed Bun and Water Fairy? Are they also in the Nethermoon Palace? Qin Yun and Water Fairy agreed to let her be a follower, although they all said that they wanted to join the Nethermoon Palace. When they came to the Spirit Desolate, they left with Sister Xianqin, saying that they wanted to travel the Spirit Desolate. Feng Honglan said. Qin Yun sighed. They are quite free and unfettered. In this way, Feng Honglan and Qin Yun chatted while healing. Lu Chongsheng and dozens of others were searching the jungle. What is the background of the black-clothed man who suddenly appeared? He was hit by 20 or 30 Xian talismans, and nothing happened. Isn't it? Even if it is the late stage or peak spirit martial realm, it is impossible to run away so easily after being hit by so many Xian talismans. This guy must be a disciple of an immortal sect. Does he know those 2 bitches? We must investigate it clearly. Lu Chongsheng and several disciples of the Medicine Immortal Valley discussed. That Xiao Yuelon killed the disciples of our Medicine Immortal Valley, and we have issued a wanted order. When we first came in, there was an agreement that we can't kill each other. If there is a situation of killing each other, all the disciples of the sects must unite to hunt down the murderer. These disciples, thinking that Xiao Yuelon was very decisive to cut off the arm of her senior sister, they were secretly shocked. And the disciples of their Medicine Immortal Valley and Wood Star Palace were also killed by Xiao Yuelon. Of course, what they're most worried about is that the masked black-clothed man who suddenly appeared, carrying so many Xian talismans, is certainly not an ordinary person. Just as Lu Chongsheng and others were searching, the sound transmission conch suddenly trembled. Someone found Xiao Yuelon. Lu Chongsheng was pleasantly surprised. Let's hurry over. Later, the people who were searching here rushed to the place where Xiao Yuelon appeared. Xiao Yuelon was outside, and she did not expect so many people to catch her. Chapter 547. Attack again. The captain of each team has a specially refined sound transmission conch. They only know the appearance of Xiao Yuelon and Yu Wulan through the description of the sound transmission. Xiao Yuelon's characteristics are more obvious, so it is easy to recognize. Xiao Yuelon is worried that someone will approach the area, so she is patrolling outside. If someone approaches and secretly sets up a formation to capture Qin Yun and the others, it will be troublesome. Xiao Yuelon thought that as long as it is not Lu Chongxing's group, nothing will happen. Now, the 10 or so people who had met her had surrounded her. Are you Xiao Yuelon? The captain is a young man in black, named Yang Hanqin, a child of the Yang family, and also an outer sect disciple of a mortal weapon city. There are more than a dozen people in this team, including Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan. They all have enmity with the Yang family, so they do not want to follow this captain. After they came in, these temporary disciples were assigned, and they must obey orders. Furthermore, there are people guarding the exit. If you are restless inside, don't even think about going out. Of course, the people of the Yang family and the Long family dare not do anything. After all, the strength of Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan is still very strong. Xiao Yuelon glanced at the group of people and said coldly, What if I am? What if I am not? If you're Xiao Yuelon, then hurry up and surrender. You killed the outer sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. No one could save you. Yang Hanqin sneered. Is those guys who want to attack me? Do you also want to accompany those guys who were killed by me? Xiao Yuelon took out a long saber. Yang Hanqin was about to attack. Tian Ruling quickly shouted, Captain, wait. What? You want to go? Yang Hanqin said coldly. You want to steal the credit? No. She is very dangerous. We can't deal with her. You have already informed others. We just need to evacuate. Tian Ruling also felt the terror of Xiao Yuelon. As a member of this team, she naturally has to think about the entire team, because she does not want to face Xiao Yuelon. You are afraid of death. I am not afraid. Yang Hanqin sneered, looked at the other team members and said, These two women are not going. We are going, kill. With that said, Yang Hanqin quickly rushed over. Xiao Yuelon laughed disdainfully. A bunch of trash. As she spoke, her mental power surged out, forming a gust of wind. This was the power of the spirit concentration kill. Yang Hanqin and the other 10 people were suddenly attacked by the violent spiritual force storm. Their heads were dizzy and painful. Xiao Yuelon used the power of her transparent martial spirit to make herself transparent and disappear into the dust. Following that, a series of screams could be heard. Yang Hanqin's group of more than 10 inexplicable saber wounds appeared on their bodies. Their bodies were covered in ghastly scars. When Tian Ruling saw this, she quickly retreated with Yu Wulan. The two of them felt that they were rather terrifying women, but this Xiao Yuelon in front of them was even more powerful than them. Go. You don't have the intention to kill me, so I won't kill you. Xiao Yuelon had also heard that Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan had a good relationship with Qin Yun, but she had never seen them before. Therefore, she did not know that the two beautiful women in front of her were Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan. The people of Nethermoon Palace are here. After Xiao Yuelon sensed them, she quickly made her body transparent. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan knew that Xiao Yuelon was still nearby. Especially Yu Wulan. She has a strange sense that can sense the existence of Xiao Yuelon. After Xiao Yuelon became transparent, she leaned against a big tree and did not dare to move. Not long after, the middle-aged senior sisters of Nethermoon Palace came here. They saw the bodies on the ground, and their faces suddenly changed. You too. How come nothing happened? The middle-aged senior sister with a broken arm looked at Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan and asked coldly. The captain did not let us attack, so we hid in the distance. Yu Wulan quickly said. Xiao Yuelon did it. A middle-aged senior sister went to check and said coldly. The middle-aged senior sister with a broken arm walked towards Yu Wulan and asked, Quickly say, where did Xiao Yuelon go? Went there. Yu Wulan quickly pointed in a direction. These middle-aged senior sisters of Nethermoon Palace were about to leave when they found something wrong. This girl lied to us. There's no aura of Xiao Yuelan over there. Xiao Yuelan should still be nearby. The middle-aged senior sister with a broken arm was meticulous and found something at once. Tie them up. As soon as she finished speaking, a few ropes were released. The ropes were like light, hitting the fleeing Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan and tying them up at once. Humph! You still want to run? The senior sister with a broken arm sneered. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan were tied to a relatively thin big tree. Senior sister, these two women seem very familiar. A tall and thin middle-aged senior sister suddenly took out 2 pieces of paper. It's them. Great. It turned out to be Yu Wulan and Tian Ruling. These are 2 big treasures. If we hand them over to the Yang and Long families, we will definitely make a lot of money. We made a big profit. The senior sister with a broken arm shouted. You guys have no vision. These 2 women are very important to Qinyan. If we use them to force Qinyan out, that would be a big profit. Xiao Yuelan, who was hiding, was secretly alarmed when she learned that it was Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan. Stop dreaming. We would rather commit suicide than let you succeed, Tian Ruling said coldly. Her abdomen suddenly swelled up. Hurry up and stop her. The senior sister with a broken arm shouted and shot out a wave of energy that struck Tian Ruling's body. Tian Ruling's Dao core exploded normally, but the condensed power was scattered. At this moment, the 2 middle-aged senior sisters also quickly guarded Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan, not allowing them to act recklessly. Xiao Yuelan secretly admired Tian Ruling's decisiveness. She said she would self-destruct without even blinking. Slut, don't even think about dying. Don't worry, when young Master Lu comes, I will let him enjoy the 2 of you. The senior sister with a broken arm laughed sinisterly. A middle-aged senior sister also fiercely slapped Tian Ruling in the face. Yu Wulan immediately became furious and spat at the senior sister with a broken arm. You ugly woman, even if I strip you and throw you on the street, no one will touch you. You fox spirit, quickly strip her naked. The senior sister with a broken arm was so angry that her face twisted. Soon, a middle-aged senior sister walked over. Just as she was about to tear off Yu Wulan's clothes, a faint breeze suddenly blew over. Plop! The head of the middle-aged senior sister suddenly fell down. Xiao Yuelan made her move. She quietly sneaked over and chopped off the head of the middle-aged senior sister with a saber strike. It's Xiao Yuelan. She's here. The senior sister with a broken arm shouted. Just as she finished shouting, Xiao Yuelan rushed towards the middle-aged senior sister who was guarding Tian Ruling and slashed with her saber. Because they were vigilant, they were able to guard against it. After all, they are all experienced spirit martial realm martial artists, and they immediately became vigilant. The senior sister with a broken arm sprinkled a special kind of black red light powder. Xiao Yuelan's body was stained with the powder and also exposed her whereabouts. Surround and kill her. The senior sister with a broken arm shouted and quickly used her sword to stab. The 4 middle-aged senior sisters are all at the early stage of the spirit martial realm. They are extremely powerful, and suddenly a fierce battle broke out. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan are also secretly shocked, because Xiao Yuelan is only at the 9th level martial Dao realm, and she is actually able to fight against 4 martial artists at the early stage of the spirit martial realm. This kind of aptitude could be considered top-notch. As long as she steps into the spirit martial realm, she will definitely be a rare genius. Xiao Yuelan, you run by yourself. Don't worry about us. Yu Wulan quickly shouted. The captains of the entire heavenly beast desolate domain are chasing you everywhere, and the people nearby will come soon. You can rest assured that they dare not do anything to us. The master of our saber sword villa is not a vegetarian. Tian Ruling quickly persuaded. Xiao Yuelan can resist the 4 spirit martial realm, but after a long time, others will come over. Tian Ruling, Yu Wulan, how'd you get tied up? Ha ha. The person who came suddenly turned out to be Long Yuedao of Medicine Immortal Valley. Great. You are mine. Long Yuedao took more than a dozen people and rushed over. They heard movement here in the distance and knew that Xiao Yuelan was here. Xiao Yuelon was furious and shouted, "You dare to touch them? I will let you die very miserably." Xiao Yuelon, you can't protect yourself? Long Yuetao laughed. Xiao Yuelon gritted her teeth and just wanted to summon the Nether Realm Mad Dragon. She heard the roar of the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion. Qin Yun and Feng Honglan were in the tree hole and also heard the sound of fighting in the distance. Qin Yun quickly summoned the Nether Realm Heavenly Lion. Others did not know that the Heavenly Lion was summoned and only regarded it as a heavenly beast here, which could play a deterrent role. Also at this time, a few throwing knives flew over, and the speed was very fast, stabbing the four middle-aged senior sisters. Seeing those throwing knives, Tian Ruling and Yu Wulon found it hard to believe that this is true. They are very familiar with it. It is the throwing knives used by Qin Yun. Qin Yun can't enter the heavenly beast desolate domain, but now his throwing knives appeared here. Those throwing knives disturbed several middle-aged senior sisters, distracting them, and Xiao Yuelon also took advantage of this to display the Wind Slayer 6 style. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulon are also very familiar with this Wind Slayer 6 style. They suddenly thought that Xiao Yuelon and Qin Yun have a certain relationship, so she can display the Wind Slayer 6 style and use the same throwing knives as Qin Yun. They don't believe that Qin Yun can come in. Big Brother Long, the heavenly beast, is coming. It seems to be a heavenly lion. A young man whispered, "Mother, this heavenly lion is very strong." Long Yuetao whispered. He looked at Tian Ruling, who was tied to the tree, and was very unwilling to swing his knife because he originally wanted to play with Tian Ruling. "Go to hell, Tian Ruling." When Long Yuetao's knife came down, suddenly a black knife appeared. Chapter 548. 548 Chapter 548 Team Goblin Long Yuetao saw the knife engraved with Dao runes and suddenly thought of Qin Yun. "You are Qin Yun!" Long Yuetao shouted and slashed at Qin Yun. The Nine-Sun Divine Hammer suddenly appeared in Qin Yun's other hand and fiercely smashed down. The impact of the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer smashed Long Yuetao's Xian Saber. The hammer's momentum was powerful, with a violent shock force. It fell on Long Yuetao's chest. Boom! After Long Yuetao was smashed, a big hole was opened in his back and a blood mist splashed out. Even if he was wearing armor, he still could not resist the attack of the Nine-Sun Divine Hammer. Everyone was shocked. They did not expect Qin Yun to be here. "Qin Yun, how could you? How could you be here? You can't kill me." Long Yuetao looked at the big hole in his back and said in horror and unwillingness, "Why is it not possible?" Qin Yun's voice appeared, and he also appeared. He held a knife in one hand and a hammer in the other. The knife in his hand slashed across, and Long Yuetao's head was cut off. The middle-aged senior sisters were all terrified. Long Yuetao is one of the top geniuses of medicine Immortal Valley and also a Xian inscription master, but now he was killed by Qin Yun. The sudden appearance of Feng Honglan also freed Yu Wulon and Tian Ruling. The disciples who followed Long Yuetao are also temporary disciples and outer sect disciples. Only 9th level martial Dao realm cultivation. They all immediately fled. Tian Ruling held the Cold Cloud Saber, and Yu Wulon also took out the Willow Moon Saber and rushed over together. The flying people were also stopped by 2 fierce Nether Realm Heavenly Lions. Nether Realm Heavenly Lions can kill a person with 1 claw. Qin Yun, who is at 9th level martial Dao realm, even during the day, can summon powerful Nether Realm Heavenly Lions and can also fight against early-stage Spirit Martial Realm. 2 Nether Realm Heavenly Lions intercepted Tian Ruling. Yu Wulon and Feng Honglan pursued and killed more than a dozen disciples at once. Tian Ruling rushed to Xiao Yuelon and used the power of ice to freeze the middle-aged sisters for a short time. Subsequently, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon both used their strongest power to launch a crazy attack. Qin Yun can kill one with 1 hammer. After he killed 2, Xiao Yuelon also killed 2. Qin Yun hurriedly extracted his martial spirits. They were all platinum and purple gold martial spirits. Although they were of high grade, they were rather ordinary. Clean up all the bodies. Don't let people know that we killed Long Yuedao. Xiao Yuelon said, that guy has 8 spirit vein, purple gold wind, and fire martial spirit. If Medicine Immortal Valley knows about this, they will definitely go crazy. Qin Yun immediately controlled the 2 Nether Realm Heavenly Lions to randomly fight here and take out some other traces. All right, let's hurry up and leave. Who knows how many people they will send? After Qin Yun was done, he quickly ran away. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan were extremely happy to meet Qin Yun here. At the same time, he is also very curious about the relationship between Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon. He is curious about how Qin Yun entered. After half a day, Qin Yun and the 4 beautiful women finally stopped to rest. They hid in a hole in a big tree and hid very well. I'm finally safe. Xiao Yuelon stretched her back. Big sister, second sister, you haven't been discovered. You are still safe for the time being. As long as you find a team from Immortal Weapon City, you can join them. Qin Yun said, 2 sisters, I almost implicated you. I am really sorry. Xiao Yuelon smiled sweetly at Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan. Xiao Yuelon usually looks ice cold, just like Tian Ruling. However, in private, she also has a charming and gentle side. Wulan is my wife. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yuelon's face and laughed. Xiao Yuelon opened Qin Yun's hand and said coquettishly, you really have a wife. I thought you were lying to me. Yu Wulan now knows that Xiao Yuelon is from Nethermoon Palace. She is very curious about how Qin Yun hooked up with the disciples of Nethermoon Palace. Tian Ruling said, Xiao Yun, how did you come in? I opened a space channel. It's complicated and dangerous. Qin Yun said, in short, I came in safely. This kid, as long as he wants to go, there is nothing that can't stop him. Xiao Yuelon smiled. Big sister, second sister, you are temporary disciples of Immortal Weapon City. Whether you could become outer sect disciples of Immortal Weapon City depends on whether you could get heavenly beast bones. Qin Yun said, that's simple. Can't we find 2 heavenly beast bones? Xiao Yuelon smiled. Xiao Yun, do you also plan to enter Immortal Weapon City? I'm not sure about this. Qin Yun sighed. Yuelon, it will be very hard for you. You should have your own mission when you come in. Tian Ruling smiled lightly. I plan to find a team from Immortal Weapon City with Wulan and join them. It's best to find Jian Meng. This guy is more reliable. Qin Yun said, those senior sisters of Nethermoon Palace are dead. They will definitely think that Hong Lan and I did it. We won't go back to Nethermoon Palace. Xiao Yuelon sighed. Xiao Yun, didn't you say that you can recommend us to enter Demon Moon Island? How about this, big sister and second sister? Go to Demon Moon Island together. Xiao Yuelon thought that she could not return to Nethermoon Palace and felt a little sad, because she met many good friends there. Yu Wulan said, if we can enter Demon Moon Island, it will also be very good. The premise is that they are willing to accept us. So let's find some heavenly beast bones. This way we can go in righteously and convince the people inside. Xiao Yuelon said. When she entered Nethermoon Palace, it aroused the jealousy of many disciples and was criticized by many people, so she was very unhappy in her heart. All right, let's go find the people of Demon Moon Island and see what their attitude is. Qin Yun said, I don't know if the demon team of Demon Moon Island recognizes me. Among the demons of Demon Moon Island, I only know that Fox Elder. Our aptitude is so good, Demon Moon Island will definitely accept us. Xiao Yuelon said, don't be careful. There will always be a way out. Rest well. Your injuries are not completely healed yet. They rested for a day and began their journey to find the people of Demon Moon Island. In Demon Moon Island, there are mainly demon beasts and fairies in human form, and the number of humans is relatively small. However, for humans with good aptitude, Demon Moon Island has never refused. Qin Yun took out a talisman, and according to the guidance of the talisman, he looked for the female disciples of Demon Moon Island. This talisman was given to him by Hu Jingxian. When he needed help, he could use this talisman to find the nearby disciples of Demon Moon Island. The number of heavenly beasts in the jungle is pitiful. They have been traveling here for 2 or 3 days, and they haven't even seen a hair of a heavenly beast. It was very rare to see a small deer before. They couldn't find a heavenly beast, but they found the people of Demon Moon Island. It is a hot noon by the river under a waterfall. The disciples of Demon Moon Island are all women. There are only 5 of them, and they're resting by the river. The captain is a fat ant. It is hard to tell whether she is a human or a demon. 2 of the 4 women following her have tails, a leopard tail and a wolf tail. The other 2 are completely in human form. Tian Ruling, Qin Yun, you will on? The fat ant quickly took out a few wanted posters, so she recognized them immediately, but she did not mean to attack. Greetings, 5 big sisters. Do you know who Jingxian and Elder Who? Qin Yun asked with a smile, but he is secretly vigilant. Of course I know her. She is one of the best elders of our Demon Moon Island. The fat ant asked with some doubt. What's wrong? Qin Yun took out the talisman and said, This was given to me by Elder Who. She told me to look for you if I have any difficulties. The fat ant took it and looked at it. She said in surprise, This talisman is also Elder Who's Fox Immortal Token. Seeing this talisman is like seeing her herself. So it's like that. It seems like it's really precious. Qin Yun sighed slightly. Isn't that so? It seems like Elder Who trusts you very much. The fat ant looked at Qin Yun with a strange expression. The 4 female disciples beside her also had strange expressions in their eyes. If you have any difficulties, just say it. We will definitely do our best to help you. The fat ant is also very easy to talk to. She is a martial master at the early stage of the spirit martial realm, and she is also very strong. Big sister, this is Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan. Qin Yun said, Greetings, big sister. Greetings, big sisters. Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan quickly greeted the people of Demon Moon Island. The people of Demon Moon Island suddenly froze. They really didn't expect that Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan of the Nethermoon Palace would actually mix with Qin Yun. You betrayed the Nethermoon Palace? The leopard-tailed woman asked in a low voice. Also, Qin Yun should not be able to come in, but why is he here? The wolf-tailed woman also asked curiously. There are a few evil women in the Nethermoon Palace who want to offer me and Hong Lan to Lu Chongsheng as playthings. So we resisted. Xiao Yuelan was very angry when she talked about this. Feng Honglan asked, We want to join Demon Moon Island now, but we are being chased by many people. I don't know if you'll accept us. Of course, your qualifications are not bad, and you are recommended by Elder Who. The fat ant looked at Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan and asked, 2 little girls, do you also want to enter Demon Moon Island? Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan also nodded. Don't worry, our Demon Moon Island is very harmonious internally, unlike other sects who fight to the death. The fat ant smiled happily. Following that, Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan changed their appearances, making it impossible for others to see their original appearances. Tian Ruling and Yu Wulan also carried out simple makeup and were not recognized. The fat ant's name is Yao Min, and she is actually a bear demon. She took out a sound transmission conch and said, There's been a sound transmission in the past few days, saying that a large mansion has been found. Let's go and see. Heavenly Beast, desolate domain. No one has come in before. There is actually a mansion here? Then let's go and see, Qin Yun said. Although Demon Moon Island agreed to allow Xiao Yuelan and the other 4 women to join, they also want to make some contributions. The killing of Long Yuedao and others also caused a great shock. Chapter 549, Mysterious Immortal Mansion. Chapter 549, Mysterious Immortal Mansion. Qin Yun learned from the female disciple of Demon Moon Island that some people entered the Heavenly Beast desolate domain very early. Those people are the main sect disciples of various sections. After they came in, they also found some things, but they could not find any powerful heavenly beast. Other beasts can be found, but those beasts have no effect on them. The people who first entered this place from the major sects are also responsible for passing on a lot of news. Therefore, after they found a mansion, they also spread the news and let many people go over. As for what is in that mansion, there is no detail. Gathering more people was just to get a share of the spoils. After you go over, don't make a sound, so as not to be recognized. Yao Min told Qin Yun and the others. They walked through the jungle and rushed through the night. It took 2 days and finally came to the outside of the mansion. The mansion is not very big. It looks a bit dilapidated and the walls are entangled with all kinds of dense grass vines. But the inside is very clean. The grass vines can't enter the mansion because there is a strong barrier outside. Looking down from the air, it can be seen that there are no grass vines and other messy things in the yard. The door of the mansion is closed, and it has been cleaned by many people, but there are many roots of grass vines on the ground. Many people stood at the gate. They were discussing the matter of this mansion. Qin Yin just arrived and heard someone make a puzzled voice. Wasn't the heavenly beast desolate domain discovered? How can there be a mansion here? The person who built the mansion must be very strong. That barrier is terrible. We have been attacking it for several days, and we can't break it. We can only wait for more people to come and then attack together to see what is inside. This powerful defense of the mansion seemed to be hiding something good inside, causing many people to become restless. Qin Yin looked at the barrier of the mansion and wanted to try to use the mysterious penetration divine ability to go in, but there are too many people here, so he can only wait until night. However, just as Qin Yin explored the barrier with his mental force, the door suddenly opened. Qin Yin was shocked. He just seemed to feel that the door was touched by his mental force and opened. The tightly shut gates suddenly opened, causing many of the teams to let out startled cries. Qin Yin looked at these teams and did not see anyone he was familiar with. Lu Chongsheng is also not here. He may still be on the way. Why did the door suddenly open? Quick, go in and take a look. A middle-aged man suddenly flew over. However, when he was 2 to 3 meters away from the gate, he was blocked by a spirit formation. The middle-aged man was furious. He slapped the barrier with his palm, creating a shockwave. What was even more frightening was that the middle-aged man was also sent flying by a force. This caused the crowd to let out a series of cries of terror. You know, the people who come to the heavenly beast desolate domain, only those temporary disciples are under the age of 30 and are at the 9th level of the martial Dao realm. The others were all outstanding disciples of the various sections. There were martial artists at the 9th level of the martial Dao realm and the spirit realm. As for that middle-aged man, he was a very strong early-stage martial master. However, he was injured by the barrier. What a strange mansion. I can't even get in. The middle-aged man cursed. Everyone thought that after the gate was opened, the barrier would also disappear. But now, the barrier had become even stronger, and it could even reflect power. The ancient mansion seemed to be empty, but there was a powerful barrier around it. It is even more doubtful that there is something good inside. This matter has been told to the elders in the sect. What did they say? A young man asked the middle-aged man beside him. They don't know what's going on. They just want us to find a way to go in and explore. The middle-aged man replied. Qin Yun carefully looked at the plaque above the gate. Because of the age, the words on the plaque have fallen off a lot, but some details can still be seen. Heavenly Lion, Immortal Mansion. Ling Yun, surprised voice appeared in Qin Yun's mind. Are you sure? Qin Yun could barely see the 2 words, Immortal Mansion. Very sure, Ling Yun said. Go in and see. Maybe because you have the Heavenly Lion Xian body, the door will open automatically. Qin Yun also heard Ling Yun's words and walked over unconsciously. Everyone also looked at him. Everyone thought that he would be blocked by the barrier. But the result was beyond everyone's expectations. Qin Yun passed through the barrier and walked into the gate. Who is the bearded man? Come out quickly. The things inside are ours. A middle-aged man, after seeing it, quickly shouted. He followed the people of Demon Moon Island. Everyone looked at Yao Min fiercely. Yao Min did not expect that Qin Yun could pass through the barrier. We met him on the road. He is a temporary disciple of Immortal Weapon City. Yao Min said quickly. Temporary disciple? Get out of here quickly. You're not allowed to go in and take the things inside. A young man saw Qin Yun walk in and shouted. Qin Yun himself also felt strange. He did not use the mysterious penetration divine ability and actually passed through the barrier. He thought about it and consciously walked out of the door. "What did you get in?" A middle-aged man asked loudly. When everyone saw him come out, they were also relieved. "I don't know, I just walked in," Qin Yun said with a smile on his face. He changed his appearance and pasted a mustache and a goatee. His hair is also messy. Even people who are familiar with him can hardly recognize him at a glance. "Really? You go in and try again," the middle-aged man said again. Qin Yun walked over again and still easily passed through the barrier. "Evil bearded man." The middle-aged man was puzzled. "Why can this barrier let you enter and not let us in? Do you have any treasures on you?" As he spoke, the middle-aged man took out a mirror and looked at Qin Yun. He frowned and said, "You don't have a spirit tool on you? Don't you have a storage bag?" "No." Qin Yun scratched his head and said, "Then why can you go in?" The middle-aged man looked at Qin Yun strangely as if he saw a ghost. "I don't know either." Qin Yun thought about it and said, "There is a fortune teller who said that I am special and can go back and forth between the human world and the ghost world." Is this mansion a ghost world? This made everyone feel a chill. "No matter where it is, you are not allowed to enter," the middle-aged man warned loudly. "If you rush in, you will be finished." Suddenly someone shouted, "Tie him up. He is just a temporary disciple of a mortal weapon city anyway." "Yes, tie him up. Don't let him go in quietly. There must be a lot of treasures inside. We can't let him swallow them all." The middle-aged man also agreed, took out a special rope, and walked towards Qin Yun. "Bearded man, you have to be honest. As long as we can go in, we will naturally let you go." The middle-aged man sneered. "Stretch out your hand." Qin Yun slowly stretched out his hand. Just as the rope was about to tie his hands, his palm slammed. "Pah!" Qin Yun slapped the middle-aged man hard. Yao Min was also stunned. She thought that Qin Yun was willing to be tied up, so she did not make a move. The audience suddenly looked at Qin Yun quietly. "You hit me?" The middle-aged man was also stunned by this slap. "I am the main sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. You're just a temporary disciple, and you dare to hit me? Big brother, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. There is some power controlling me." Qin Yun pretended to be frightened, and then slapped again. "Pah!" He hit again. Everyone also found that the speed of his palm was surprisingly fast, not the speed of a 9th level martial Dao realm. The middle-aged man is a spirit martial realm martial master, but he could not dodge it. You're talking nonsense," the middle-aged man said angrily and punched out. Qin Yun quickly attacked and used his palm knife to hit the middle-aged man's wrist. "Gotcha!" The middle-aged man's wrist was immediately fractured. "Ah!" The middle-aged man screamed in pain. Everyone was stunned again. The temporary disciple is only at the 9th level martial Dao realm, but he actually has such a terrifying power. Everyone had to wonder if there is some kind of power attached to this strange bearded man. "I will kill you." The middle-aged man took out a long spear and stabbed at Qin Yun. Qin Yun quickly dodged. The middle-aged man continued to stab, stabbing thousands of times in an instant, shooting out waves of energy. The most terrifying thing is that Qin Yun's body constantly swayed to dodge, creating many afterimages and actually dodged one by one. After Qin Yun cultivated the heavenly lion Xian body, his body's reaction speed is faster and his coordination is better. This kind of dodging is done by his body's natural reaction. Qin Yun dodged the middle-aged man's attack while retreating. Not long after, he retreated into the enchantment. Because the middle-aged man concentrated on his mental attack, he accidentally stabbed the enchantment 1,000 times. Shwa shwa shwa. The enchantment was attacked by a wave of energy and actually bounced back a lot of energy. The rebounded energy is also like the energy of the long spear. It instantly pierced the middle-aged man's body from top to bottom, turning him into a hornet's nest. Old Lu, a young man from a Medicine Immortal Valley, after a moment of shock, shouted angrily. "Old Lu is dead. He died a horrible death, and he was killed by himself." Looking at the bloody middle-aged man, everyone moved away from the enchantment of the mansion and did not dare to approach. The enchantment of the mansion seems to rebound after the door is opened. You bearded man, get out and die for me. The young man from the Medicine Immortal Valley looked at Qin Yun inside the enchantment and roared loudly. You want to kill me, I won't go out. Qin Yun said, turned his head and rushed into the door. Many people quickly floated in the air and watched him enter a big house inside the mansion. We must keep an eye on this mansion. We can't let him run out from other places. Once he comes out, we will catch him. He killed the main sect disciple of our Medicine Immortal Valley. He belongs to our Medicine Immortal Valley. Don't rob him. The young man from the Medicine Immortal Valley looked at everyone with murderous intent. Why? We also had a share in the discovery of this mansion. If the bearded man comes out with treasures, we will also have a share. Yes, when the time comes, we will catch him together, and we will divide it equally. Whether it is the Medicine Immortal Valley or the Immortal Weapon City, we cannot enjoy it alone. Chapter 550. Lion Soul Inheritance. Xiao Yuelon and the others just watched and did not speak. She is not worried about Qin Yun at all. Even if Qin Yun can come out, he can escape alone. More and more people are coming. Some are even just sent in to study the enchantment of this mansion. After they learned that someone had entered, they also sent the news back. There are also other teams of Immortal Weapon City here, because the person who entered is a temporary disciple of their Immortal Weapon City. Immortal Weapon City is very concerned. After Qin Yun entered the mansion, he quickly entered a big house. The big house is also the largest building in the entire mansion. When Qin Yun was outside, he made a very careful observation. The big house is made of special pale golden stone. Because of the long time, the color of the pale golden stone has disappeared. That was why it looked a little yellowish. Heavenly Lion Immortal Mansion. What the hell is inside? After Qin Yun entered the big house, he took out a glowing stone and illuminated the dark inside. After illuminating, there's an empty space all around. On the stone wall, there are many reliefs of heavenly lions. He is also familiar with these reliefs. They all have the characteristics of heavenly lion totem. I don't know what this is. Ling Yin shook her head. It seems to be very old. Aren't you a nether sun elf? Qin Yun curled his lips. What kind of immortal mansion is this? I have never heard of it. Ling Yin snorted. Let's go in and see what is inside. There was only an empty hall in the big house. There was nothing inside. After Qin Yun walked to the middle, he suddenly felt a slight tremor. Then, the pitch-black lobby was immediately lit up. The surrounding walls lit up with a faint golden light, illuminating the entire lobby. It's been a long time. Finally, someone is here. Suddenly, an old voice appeared. Who are you? Qin Yun was shocked and quickly looked around. Then, in the middle position, a faint golden heavenly lion virtual image appeared. The illusory image of this heavenly lion actually gave off a very gentle and kind feeling, just like a benevolent elder. Especially the eyes of the heavenly lion. They are full of a kind light. The eyes are full of vicissitudes and affinity. The heavenly lion virtual image is not very big. Its body length is only 5 or 6 meters. Overall, it looked very powerful. However, when he saw the heavenly lion's eyes, he felt very at ease. It was as if he was with a kind old man. Chu Binyu also looked very kind and amiable, but there was a different kind of light in his eyes. It was not the kind of natural kindness. And the virtual image of this heavenly lion seemed to be born very kind. Are you human? Qin Yun saw a heavenly lion, but he felt that it was a person. It doesn't matter who I am. What's important is that we can communicate peacefully. The heavenly lion's aged voice laughed heartily. Then I'll call you Senior. Qin Yun said with a smile. Senior, what exactly is this heavenly lion immortal mansion? Was it built by humans? I built it back then. The heavenly lion said, I built this immortal mansion to wait for the younger generation to come here. But I'm a human, not your junior. Qin Yun also heard that heavenly lions are very rare, almost extinct. I'm also very curious. Why do you have the heavenly lion's bloodline inheritance? Logically speaking, this kind of bloodline should not appear in humans. What's even stranger is that you actually cultivated the heavenly lion Xian body. The heavenly lion's voice is also filled with incomparable curiosity. Qin Yun simply told the old heavenly lion about how he obtained the heavenly lion's bloodline. After the heavenly lion finished listening, it was also amazed. Then I can only say that this is a rare opportunity. The old heavenly lion let out a long sigh. Senior, did the heavenly lions encounter a disaster? Qin Yun asked curiously. Why are there so few of them? It's not a disaster. It's just that our luck was too good and it led to the extinction of our clan. The old heavenly lion sighed when he talked about this matter. Good luck. Clan annihilation? Qin Yun was baffled. The old heavenly lion said, let's put it this way. Our heavenly lions were very strong in the past, almost invincible in the Nine Desolate, intimidating other beasts. Later, we were named the Divine Beast Clan, and I was invited to enter the Divine Desolate. Originally, all of this seemed very good, but later I learned that after I went to the Divine Desolate, the heavenly lions in the Immortal Desolate and Sacred Desolate were all killed. And I was also sealed in a sun and became a sun-suppressing divine beast. Sun-suppressing divine beast? Qin Yun thought of the ninth heaven Xian sparrow. Senior, is the ninth heaven Xian sparrow a sun-suppressing divine beast? Qin Yun asked. No, the ninth heaven Xian sparrow is a sun soul. My duty was to guard the sun soul and not let the sun soul escape. But in the end, I still couldn't guard it, so I was also punished and sealed in the sun forever. The old heavenly lion sighed helplessly. Many years have passed. I didn't expect that the remnant soul I left here would be awakened by someone. The old heavenly lion was only a heavenly beast back then. He turned into a human here and then built this mansion. He also set up a very strong barrier and then rushed all the way into the Divine Desolate. It can be seen that this has happened for a very long time. Qin Yun feels that it is a miracle that this mansion still exists. You, a human, can cultivate the heavenly lion bloodline and heavenly lion Xian body. It can be considered the only bloodline of our heavenly lion clan in the Nine Desolate. Since that's the case, I will give this remnant soul to you. The old heavenly lion said. Remnant soul? Qin Yun doesn't know what use the remnant soul has. This remnant soul only has a trace of my spirit, and it will soon be obliterated. Then you can use the remnant soul as a beast soul, and it also has some of my cultivation experience. Maybe it will be useful to you. The old heavenly lion said, if you need it, you can also temporarily borrow the heavenly lion saint power, which can improve your strength a lot. However, your body will also suffer great pain, and it will take a period of time before you can use it again. After the old heavenly lion finished speaking, the virtual image gradually became smaller and finally turned into a very small heavenly lion bee soul. Qin Yun quickly caught the heavenly lion bee soul and absorbed it into his body through the soul refining technique. Xiao Yun, it's best to use this as your bone spirit. Ling Yun suddenly said, you have the heavenly lion bloodline, heavenly lion totem, and heavenly lion Xian body. If the bone spirit is the heavenly lion bone spirit, it would be perfect. When attacking the spirit martial realm, after the bone spirit opens, it needs to integrate a powerful bee soul to strengthen the bone spirit, and at the same time, it can also obtain the power of the bee soul. But now, Qin Yun has not reached the stage of spirit opening. He can only temporarily keep the heavenly lion bee soul in the nether sun Dao core. As long as I open the spirit successfully, I can immediately integrate the heavenly lion bee soul and condense the bone spirit. Qin Yun can't wait to refine more bone spirit Xian pills now, but the herbs are not enough. What he didn't expect is that the enchantment of the heavenly lion immortal mansion suddenly disappeared. After the people outside felt it, they rushed in. They first rushed into the big house. As soon as they entered, they saw that it was empty and the four walls are heavenly lion reliefs. In the middle, only Qin Yun stood there. Bearded man, you actually emptied everything here. Someone shouted angrily. Quickly hand over the things. I didn't get anything. I don't have a spirit tool on me. If you don't believe me, you can check it. I just accidentally touched a mechanism, and the enchantment closed. Qinyan also felt a headache and thought of a way to get out. A middle-aged man quickly stepped forward and said, I am the main sect disciple of Immortal Weapon City, Kumingjiang. You can rest assured that I will protect you. Whether you get anything or not, our Immortal Weapon City will not take anything from you. Immortal Weapon City, what you said is really nice. Ha ha. Maybe after you go back, you will use torture to force him to hand over those treasures. Someone sneered. Kumingjiang was not angry and calmly said, Our Immortal Weapon City is not as dirty and sinister as you. There is really nothing in it. If you don't believe me, I can let you search. Qinyan only got the heavenly lion beast soul. This is what you said. Kumingjiang, you go to the side. A young man quickly came over, took out a piece of jade, and patted Qinyan back and forth. Then there were several young people who used their equipment to check Qinyan's body. If Qinyan's body has a spirit tool or something, it will definitely be found. The middle-aged man who died in the Medicine Immortal Valley checked that Qinyan did not even have a storage spirit tool. After checking several times, those people really did not find anything on Qinyan's body. It's really evil. A middle-aged man frowned. They just saw that Qinyan entered this big house not long ago. If the big house is full of good things, it is really impossible to take them all away in a short time. Everyone, there seems to be some big houses in this mansion. Don't you want to take a look? Qinyan suddenly said, Yes, let's hurry and take a look. Someone shouted and quickly walked out of the big house. Everyone did not want their things to be taken away and immediately went to other houses. Even the people of the Medicine Immortal Valley did not pursue the middle-aged man who was killed by Qinyan at this time and hurriedly ran out of the big house. After going out, someone suddenly shouted, Beast bones! I found beast bones! The houses in the mansion are all large stone houses. There are more than a dozen, like a large warehouse. After someone found the beast bones, everyone suddenly became fanatical and went to open the doors of those huge stone houses. Almost every stone house has a heavenly beast bone. Because of this, some fierce battles took place. Originally, after coming in, they could not fight with each other, but now who cares so much? The people who are fighting with each other are the disciples of the 5 great immortal sects and 5 great star sections. Qinyan remained calm and collected. During the battle, he secretly used his powerful mental energy to collect quite a number of beast bones. He has been following Kumingjiang and also saw Kumingjiang from Stonehouse. Kumingjiang is very strong, and he led the disciples of Immortal Weapon City and got the most heavenly beast bones. At this time, Kumingjiang is in a large warehouse and got the heavenly beast crystal nucleus. This was also seen by the disciples of the Medicine Immortal Valley, who just rushed in. Chapter 551. Heavenly Beast Bones Qinyan is a little worried about Xiao Yuelon, and they hope that they can be safe. He only got about a few thousand genes of Heavenly Beast Bones, and Kumingjiang got hundreds of thousands of genes. Who would have thought that the stone houses of this mansion would be filled with the skeletons of various heavenly beasts? Only Qinyan knows that this is the Heavenly Lion Immortal Mansion, built by the former Heavenly Lion Overlord. At the beginning, the Heavenly Lion must have killed a lot of heavenly beasts, so the bones were stored. Only in the middle of the big house, there are no heavenly beast bones. There are no heavenly beasts in the Heavenly Beast Desolate Domain. Maybe they've been killed by the Heavenly Lion. Ling Yin said, Only those vegetarian heavenly beasts can survive. The little deer that Qinyan encountered before is a living heavenly beast. The disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley are very arrogant. Even Kumingjiang of Immortal Weapon City wants to rob them. Your Medicine Immortal Valley must understand that if you rob us here, it means that your Medicine Immortal Valley declares war on our Immortal Weapon City. Does your Medicine Immortal Valley have the confidence to defeat our Immortal Weapon City? Kumingjiang is not afraid of the people of Medicine Immortal Valley. Another disciple of Immortal Weapon City also said coldly, Medicine Immortal Valley, you are too arrogant. You actually rob us. You robbed the 5-star sex and 3 moon sex. We are not soft persimmons. Ha ha. Your medicine Immortal Valley should not have the least heavenly beast bones, right? Mingjiang laughed. You are a group of idiots just thinking that there is something on the bearded man, wasting so much time and missing the opportunity to go out first. Now, everyone is very sure that there's really nothing in that big house. Because if there is something, there must be the aura of heavenly beast bones. Your Immortal Weapon City has emptied 3 warehouses. You have a most heavenly beast bones. Shouldn't you take out some and share them equally? The disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley said coldly. The main reason is that the people of Medicine Immortal Valley went to other warehouses or small, and they also had some disputes with the people of other sects and delayed a lot of time. The 3 squads of the Immortal Weapon City used the fastest time to empty the 3 warehouses. This is also because they have storage magic tools with large space. Qinyan followed Ku Mingjiang and also got some things. He is also very satisfied. Get out of the way. If you want our heavenly beast bones, you'll have to step over our corpses. Ku Mingjiang coldly smiled and then walked to the warehouse door. In front of the gate, many disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley saw the murderous Ku Mingjiang and could only grit their teeth and make way. If they were to fight, they could win, but this matter would definitely be known by others. When it reaches the Immortal Weapon City, it will definitely be a war between the 2 immortal sections. If Medicine Immortal Valley does not want war, then they can only punish them for causing trouble. Now, Qinyan also saw how advantageous the main sect disciples of the immortal sects were. The other immortal sects would not dare to act recklessly. Qinyan followed Kumingjiang and came outside and saw Xiao Yuelon and the others. Yuelon, did you get the beast bone? I got some. If you don't have them, I can give them to you. Qinyan said. Don't worry, we all have them. Xiao Yuelon said. You can go back with the people of Immortal Weapon City in peace. We will contact each other in the future. They are now hiding their identities and can only communicate in secret. It didn't take long for more than a dozen warehouses in this mansion to be emptied. Immortal Weapon City, you got the 3 largest warehouses of heavenly beast bones. Quickly take out some and share them equally. The person who spoke is the main sect disciple of Azure Flame, Immortal Mountain. The largest warehouse of heavenly beast bones is also the best. The heavenly beast bones you got are of higher quality than ours. Quickly take them out and share them equally. The disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley also shouted. Only Demon Immortal Cave and Sword Immortal Pavilion did not participate. These 2 immortal sects have a good relationship with Immortal Weapon City, especially Sword Immortal Pavilion. The weapons are provided by Immortal Weapon City. Medicine Immortal Valley and Azure Flame Immortal Mountain have always had contradictions with Immortal Weapon City, so at this time, they are very impolite. Finally, many people came one after another. Lu Chongsheng finally arrived. His status in Medicine Immortal Valley is extremely high. When he arrived, the people of Medicine Immortal Valley seemed to be very confident. Finally, several teams from the Immortal Weapon City arrived, including Jianmang. Jianmang, who was blind, sensed Qinyan's aura as soon as he arrived. He was surprised, but did not say anything. As a result, the disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley and Azure Flame Immortal Mountain joined forces and asked Immortal Weapon City for heavenly beast bones. The other 8-star and Moon sects are watching from the sidelines and entering the state of watching the show. By the way, the bearded man just killed one of our brothers. What do you say about this? A young man of Medicine Immortal Valley pointed at Qin Yun and said angrily. Qin Yun hurriedly recounted the events that transpired. That guy was killed by the enchantment. No one could be blamed. Ku Mingjiang smiled and said, we all have to thank this little brother because he can enter the mansion and remove the enchantment, so that we can get so many heavenly beast bones. He is our #1 hero. The onlookers nodded one after another. Lu Chongsheng did not recognize it. He came later and learned that Immortal Weapon City obtained 3 large warehouses of heavenly beast bones, and his teeth itched with jealousy. Kumingjiang, today, no matter what, you must hand over a part of the heavenly beast bones. Otherwise, this bearded man must die. Lu Chongshang took out a sword and pointed it at Qin Yun. He killed one of our brothers. You want to kill him, can you? Go kill him, but the premise is that you have to kill me first. As long as I, Kumingjiang, am still alive, you can't touch him. Kumingjiang looks like a powerful middle-aged man. When he released his Dao power, it is like the momentum of a rushing river. It is very scary. Kumingjiang's martial spirit is the great river martial spirit. This is a legendary martial spirit. Let's take a step back. Lu Chongxing thought about it and said, how about fighting? If you win, we will not pursue the matter of the bearded man. If you lose, you have two choices, either kill the bearded man or give us a warehouse of heavenly beast bones. Dream on. Kumingjiang smiled coldly. If you have guts, come and attack us. Our immortal weapon city has long wanted to find a justifiable opportunity to kill your medicine immortal valley. You have guts. Lu Chongshang gritted his teeth angrily and said, how about this? We bet on heavenly beast bones. One fight, 20,000 genes of heavenly beast bones. That's good. Kumingjiang smiled. Anyway, since I entered the heavenly beast desolate domain, I haven't had a good fight. Our spirit martial realm martial artists will not fight. Let the martial Dao realm juniors fight. Lu Chongsheng looked at his senior brother, and the senior brother also agreed. Kumingjiang said, Jianmeng, you fight. If you win, you'll get 10,000 genes of heavenly beast bones. Jianmeng slowly walked out. His eyes are scarred, tightly squinted. He is wearing white clothes, tall and thin. He gave off a threatening aura from head to toe. This is the disciple of the Jian family. Many people can recognize him from this aura. Jianmeng, why don't you come to our Sword Immortal Pavilion? That is your best choice. A middle-aged man from the Sword Immortal Pavilion asked, I am not fated with the Sword Immortal Pavilion. I have always decided by fate. Jianmeng lightly said, I entered the Saber Sword Villa and then got the opportunity to become a temporary disciple from the Saber Sword Villa. This is my fate with the Immortal Weapon City. Kumingjiang smiled and said, yes, there's an opportunity for you to get the heavenly beast bones. Once you defeat the opponent, you will be an outer sect disciple of the Immortal Weapon City. A blind man, what's so great about him? Lu Chongshang sneered. Qing, go up and kill him. Kumingjiang took out a Xian sword and was about to hand it to Jianmeng, but he heard Lu Chongshang shout, no weapons. The rules of the fight are to beat the opponent until they have no power to fight back. Death and injury are allowed. No weapons, hidden weapons, and poisons can be used. Everyone immediately gave way to a large area. There is no barrier martial field here. If they fight, the aftermath will also destroy the mansion. Everyone floated in the air and looked at the two people below. Qing is an outer sect disciple of the Medicine Immortal Valley, 9th level martial Dao realm, tall and sturdy. His face is full of muscles. Under the developed muscles, there is hot lava squirming. This is a martial artist who cultivates the power of fire. Before it started, Qing's whole body is steaming hot. Qing has 6 spiritual veins. Purple gold fire martial spirit, 25 this year, from the Xia family. Lu Chongsheng proudly said, the disciples of the Jian family, without a sword, are trash. Qing will win. Start. Lu Chongsheng shouted. At the beginning, a heat wave surged in all directions. That is Qing's aura. And Jianmeng's aura is even more terrifying, only to see his palm suddenly appear a virtual image of a sword. The moment Qing punched, he saw the virtual image of this sword. He was shocked and strengthened his primordial Dao power. His fist overflowed with a fierce purple gold flame and hit the virtual sword. As soon as this flame came out, the strong heat made the surrounding 100 meters sultry. Jianmeng still steadily stabbed out with his sword and did not avoid Qing's fist. The fist collided with the virtual sword, and a purple gold flame spewed out. Oh! Qing screamed. His fist was pierced by the virtual sword and came out from the back. Jianmeng's virtual sword is really as sharp as a sword. It penetrated a Qing's entire arm and broke the terrible primordial purple gold fire. The terrible thing is that the virtual sword suddenly exploded and a Qing's arm exploded. After a Qing's arm was gone, he screamed loudly. Subsequently, Jian Mang condensed a virtual image of a long sword and stabbed at a Qing. In an instant, he stabbed 10 times, and the sword pierced into a Qing's vital parts. He has no power to fight back. After Jian Mang's stab, he calmly retreated. The strength of this Jian Mang, even the martial artists of the spirit martial realm, are frightened. We won. Kumingjiang looked at the people of Medicine Immortal Valley and laughed. Lu Chongqing looked at the seriously injured Qing and said, "This guy's a sword cultivator." Chapter 552. Arm wrestling. Jian Mang is a sword cultivator, which makes many people feel surprised. Everyone is very curious. This kind of sword cultivator should be able to enter the 5 major star sects. Why did he go to the Saber Sword Villa? Jian Mang went to the Saber Sword Villa just to get some sword techniques. He seems to have gotten it now. Kumingjiang looked at Lu Chongqing's ugly face and said with a smile, "Lu Chongqing, do you want to act shamelessly?" This is indeed Medicine Immortal Valley lost, and everyone saw it. Lu Chongqing asked a middle-aged man to take out 20,000 genes of heavenly beast bones and handed them to Kumingjiang. Kumingjiang also gave 10,000 genes of heavenly beast bones to Jian Mang, but Jian Mang did not have a large enough storage magic tool, so he temporarily kept it with Kumingjiang. Are you still willing to compete? Lu Chongqing lost 20,000 genes of heavenly beast bones, and he is very dissatisfied. This time, he must win back, otherwise his prestige in Medicine Immortal Valley will also be damaged. Kumingjiang is of course happy to compete. On the one hand, he has more heavenly beast bones, and on the other hand, there are many excellent disciples in Immortal Weapon City. This kind of competition can also see the strength of Immortal Weapon City and Medicine Immortal Valley. Now, it is not just to compete for heavenly beast bones. Also, in order to win face for their own immortal sect. Medicine Immortal Valley lost once before to Immortal Weapon City. They need to win back twice to offset the negative impact. The second competition began. It is still a martial arts competition. Kumingjiang let a thin young man go up. On the side of Medicine Immortal Valley, a slightly fat man was sent. After the start of the martial arts competition, the two sides immediately entered into a fierce battle. The two men fought evenly. It didn't take long for the winner to be decided. Immortal Weapon City lost. This made Lu Chongqing's mood a lot better. Kumingjiang did not blame the thin young man who lost, but very politely helped to deal with the injury. And Lu Chongqing always had a high and mighty appearance, won the heavenly beast bones, and did not share. In contrast, Kumingjiang gave a better impression. Let's continue. When everyone else is tired, I will compete with you again and play a big game. Lu Chongqing sneered. Okay, let's compete at the end. Kumingjiang is also looking forward to it. Lu Chongqing looked at a long-faced youth and said, "Yang Xinya, you go up. You are a disciple of the Yang family. Don't lose face for the Yang family, and even more so for our Medicine Immortal Valley. You must win." When Kumingjiang saw the Yang family disciples sent by the other party, he immediately frowned. He looked at Jian Mang and asked, "Are you going?" "No, he is from the Yang family. I am afraid of killing him by mistake," Jian Mang said. This made Yang Xinya furious. Jian Mang's words seemed to be telling everyone that he could casually kill the Yang clan's disciples, but he was afraid of offending the Yang clan. The disciples of the Jian family did not like to make enemies. This was a well-known fact. "Bearded man, what is your name?" Kumingjiang looked at Qin Yun and asked. "Yin Darren." Qin Yun said, "Great benevolence and great righteousness." "So Yun, Darren, are you willing to fight with this Yang family?" Kumingjiang felt that the name was more deceptive and secretly despised it. Hearing this name, Xiao Yuelan and Feng Honglan almost laughed out loud. They also thought of that wretched Murong Darren. "I am willing." Qin Yun nodded. Qin Yun likes to deal with the people of the Yang family. He quickly walked up. During the competition, weapons and armor cannot be used. The people on both sides will also use a special mirror to illuminate, which can see whether the other side has armor. Yang Xinya looked at Qin Yun, and his heart was a little nervous because he had seen Qin Yun's skills before. He also slapped a middle-aged martial artist twice, and his speed of evasion was extremely fast. If you are sensible, you should be like Jian Meng. Don't provoke our Yang family, Yang Xinya said with a proud face. If you hurt me, our Yang family will never let you go. You're just a temporary disciple. If you lose to me, you don't have to pay for the lost heavenly beast bones, so you have to be smart. This made everyone feel a little funny. This Yang Xinya actually threatened others. If I offend your Yang family, what about it? Qin Yun asked. He did not mean to retreat. Even if you become a disciple of a mortal weapon city, as long as you are alone outside and found by us, the consequences will be very miserable. Yang Xinya sneered. Very miserable? How miserable is it? Qin Yun asked. That is. Yang Xinya suddenly became furious. Are you playing with me? You idiot. You have to think clearly. Don't let yourself be chased by us for the rest of your life for the sake of a heavenly beast bone. I heard that your Yang family's patriarch has a bounty on his head. I don't know if his head is still there. Qin Yun said. Your Yang family's patriarch's head can't be kept. Why is the Yang family still chasing me? Shouldn't you protect your patriarch? Many people laughed out loud. The situation of the Yang family and the Long family is really funny. The patriarch could only live like a cowardly tortoise. Bastard, are you mocking our Yang family? Yang Xinya is infuriated and punched at Qin Yun. After Qin Yun dodged, he said, You think so? Your Yang family has been ridiculed because of this matter, and you deserve it. Yang Xinya said and punched Qin Yun again. But Qin Yun just dodged. Bastard, huh? You only dare to dodge. You don't dare to hit me. Because you are afraid of offending our Yang family. Yang Xinya laughed proudly and then kept attacking. Qin Yun did not attack because he did not want to expose his aura. At the beginning, he desperately slapped Lu Chongsheng, and at that time, he released a very strong aura. With Lu Chongsheng's memory, he can definitely remember it. Why don't I dare to hit you? I just haven't found your flaws for the time being. Qin Yun is also serious. He now only intends to use the power of his heavenly lion Xian body to defeat the other party. Suddenly, Yang Xinya stopped fighting. He stood in the same place, raised his head and shouted, If you are really not afraid of our Yang family's revenge, come and try to hit me. Everyone also saw that Qin Yun's movement technique is very clever and not so easy to deal with. Therefore, Yang Xinya used the entire Yang family to suppress others, which is also despised. Yang Xinya is an outer sect disciple of our medicine Immortal Valley. You are a temporary disciple. If you hurt him, you will offend the Yang family and medicine Immortal Valley. Lu Chongsheng also smiled coldly. Yang Xinya laughed and said, He is just a temporary disciple. If he causes a big trouble, Immortal Weapon City will kick him away and let him bear it himself. This idiot, does he really think that Immortal Weapon City will want him? Qin Yun quickly walked over and punched Yang Xinya's nose. His fist is like a stiff hammer, with the power of heavenly lion Xian body. It is comparable to the power of 9th level martial Dao realm. Gotcha! Everyone saw that Yang Xinya's nose was flattened and his face was full of blood. What if I hit you? Qin Yun said, and punched Yang Xinya's abdomen again. The powerful impact produced a burst of energy that cracked the Dao core inside. Idiot, this is a fight to decide the winner and loser. How can you stand there and let me hit you? Qin Yun spoke and punched Yang Xinya's face again. Ah! Yang Xinya rolled on the ground and screamed in pain. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Kamingjiang laughed and said, This guy is stupid, naive to think that others do not dare to hit him. Lu Chongsheng's face is very ugly. He did not expect a nameless pawn to really dare to offend the Long family and medicine Immortal Valley. We won. Next time you send someone with a brain, there is nothing to see. Kumingjiang looked at Lu Chongsheng with a sneer on his face and sneered. Lu Chongqing's face is cold. He gave the 20,000 genes of heavenly beast bones to Kumingjiang. Qinyan also got 10,000 genes. In order not to expose that he has a storage spirit tool, he also stored it with Kumingjiang. This time, let's let the spirit martial realm fight. 50,000 genes, how about it? Lu Chongsheng suddenly said. Yes. Kumingjiang smiled and said, Are you going to play? Lu Chongsheng looked at a tall and strong young man with a scar on his face and said, Alu, you go. After Alu went to the open place, he tore the white clothes on his body and saw that half of his body was tattooed with many patterns. Taking a closer look, it is a tiger totem. Totem martial master. This made the onlookers exclaim. Elu is not only a totem martial master, he also has a tiger bloodline inheritance. Lu Chongsheng proudly smiled. He is my good brother. Immortal Weapon City. Who will you send to fight? Kumingjiang suddenly frowned. His face also became serious, looking at the disciples on their side. Qinyan said, Captain Ku, it is better not to compete in martial arts. How about arm wrestling? I am born with great strength. I will go and arm wrestling with him. Yundarin, this is a bet of 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones. Can you really do it? Kumingjiang is very worried. After all, Qinyan is only 9th level martial Dao realm. If it is just arm wrestling, then how to say it is also a spirit martial realm martial master? Lu Chongsheng smiled and said, This is a good idea. It is too easy to get injured in martial arts. Let's use a more gentle way to compete in strength. Kumingjiang did not let Qinyan go, but called a middle-aged spirit martial realm. Kumingjiang took out a large head of a heavenly beast and used it as a table, and then the two put their hands on the table. Start! Kumingjiang shouted. Everyone also found it very interesting. They all wanted to see in this way of competition whose explosive power and endurance is stronger. It lasted for a long time. When both sides released their power madly, their bodies also gushed out a wave of air from time to time, setting off a burst of wind and waves. Just a little bit more, and you would have one. Lu Chongsheng is also a little excited and shouted. The totem runes on Ali's body fiercely lit up, issued a tiger roar, and pressed down the hand of the middle-aged man from Immortal Weapon City. 1. Lu Chongsheng proudly laughed. Kumingjiang was a little upset and gave 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones to Lu Chongsheng. He also saw that Ali's power is really terrible, even he may not win so easily. Again, Lu Chongsheng is also addicted to gambling because he has now earned 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones in one go. Captain, this requires some skills. I know better in this area. Qinyan also said apologetically. I will definitely win him. If I win, I don't want half of the 50,000 heavenly beast bones. It will be considered as the loss just now. Well, Yundarin, I will believe you this time. Kumingjiang also felt that the bearded man in front of him is a bit strange and agreed. Chapter 553. The greatest strength. Kumingjiang believes that Qin Yun has a certain strength, because only he could enter the mansion before, and he also slapped the martial artist of Medicine Immortal Valley twice. When the main sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley fought back, he was always unable to hit. Therefore, Kumingjiang feels that this bearded man named Yundarin must be hiding a strong strength. Qinyan walked over and looked at Alu and asked, Do you want to take a break? You just used a lot of strength. No, for trash like you. I can easily beat you with 20% of my power. Let's start now, Elu said and then stretched out his hand. After Qin Yun stood firm, he also put his hand on the large heavenly beast skull. The heavenly beast skull is a huge top of the beast head, and it is very strong. They used this beast head as a table for arm wrestling. After the start, both of them began to exert their strength. After Elu slightly exerted his strength, he found that it was not so easy to press down Qin Yun's hand and then increased it. Lu Chongsheng looked at Kumingjiang and found it very interesting. He smiled and said, Kumingjiang, You really have a lot of heavenly beast bones. You actually dare to make trouble like this and let a martial Dao level temporary disciple come out to compete. You will lose this competition. After all, the strength is there. The martial Dao level 9th level is definitely a lot worse than the martial artist of the early stage spirit martial realm. Lu Chongsheng, who was originally smiling, saw that Alu did not press down Qin Yun, frowned slightly and shouted, "Alu, what are you doing? Hurry up and press him down." Qin Yun and Ali's hands have been there to maintain the starting state. No one can press down the other. After Alu felt a certain amount of pressure, he roared. The tiger totem on his body roared and overflowed with a real violent tiger Dao power. Who? A gust of wind, along with the roar of Alu, rushed out in all directions. The reason why Qin Yun proposed the idea of arm wrestling is that he did not want to expose his aura during the battle. If it is just arm wrestling, he is confident that with the power of heavenly lion Xian body, he can also suppress the martial artist of the early stage spirit martial realm. After Alu roared loudly, his strength really increased a lot. He was able to turn Qin Yun's hand a little bit, but only a little bit. "Brother, is this 20% of your power? You're truly awesome." Qin Yun's expression is like a smile, yet not a smile. It is filled with ridicule. How could this be 20% of Ali's power? Everyone could see that he had used all his strength. However, it was unable to overwhelm Qin Yun. Arm wrestling was different from a martial arts competition. During a martial arts competition, martial techniques were used to make one's strength stronger and more violent. As for arm wrestling, one could only rely on one's pure strength. Qin Yun has 3 Dao cores and heavenly lion Xian body. In addition, he is using 9 extinction Dao power. That power is extremely terrifying. Facing a martial master who had just entered the spirit martial realm, it was a piece of cake. Hee, I'm waiting for you to use your full strength. Qin Yun looked relaxed. Originally, he was worried that Lu Chongsheng would recognize him. However, Lu Chongsheng did not seem to recognize Qin Yun. Maybe he has not seen Qin Yun for a long time. Furthermore, he did not believe that Qin Yun would appear here. "Hello, what are you doing? You can easily push him over." Lu Chongsheng is anxious. If Alu loses, he will have to return the 50,000 pounds of heavenly beast bones. The people who did not think highly of Qin Yun were now astonished. They really did not expect that a temporary 9th level martial Dao realm disciple could actually suppress the main sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. Xiao Yuelon and the others are also watching. Only they know the strength of Qin Yun, so they are not worried at all. "Alu, you are going to lose," Qin Yun said, suddenly increased his strength and pressed Ali's wrist a little bit. Ali's face is red. He gritted his teeth. Blue veins appeared on his forehead. His eyes widened, and he is unwilling to look at his wrist that was pressed a little bit. He really did not expect that this temporary 9th level martial Dao realm disciple would be so powerful. The most terrifying thing is that Qin Yun still has a smile on his face. Finally, the back of Ali's hand touched the table. "I won." Qin Yun laughed. "Yindarin awesome." Ku Mingjiang loudly praised and then laughed heartily. Lu Chongxing's face was gloomy, and he handed the 50,000 pounds of heavenly beast bones to Ku Mingjiang. Ku Mingjiang saw Lu Chongxing's ugly face and laughed even more happily. "Do you still dare to come?" Ku Mingjiang laughed. "Why wouldn't I dare? Old and I, you go and teach the bearded man a lesson." Lu Chongsheng originally wanted to do it himself, but he felt that his status was relatively high and he would fight against Ku Mingjiang. Old and I is a middle-aged man, very strong. His arm is longer than many people's thighs. His outstretched palm is much bigger than Qin Yun's. Everyone looked at his bare, thick arms, and they were all secretly shocked. Qin Yun's arm also has strong muscles, the kind of uniform and healthy. It looks very pleasing to the eye. Old and I is different. His arm is 2 or 3 times bigger than Qin Yun's. His muscles were like lumps of rock, looking extremely malevolent and frightening. Qin Yun saw this old and I, and he felt great pressure. "Your medicine, Immortal Valley. When did you accept Devil Cultivators? I really didn't expect it." Kumingjiang is also a little worried about Qingyun at this time. Everyone knows that the power of Devil Cultivator is the most terrible. This old knee's monster-like body is cultivated in a very extreme way. You don't have to worry about this. When Lu Chongsheng saw old knee's behemoth-like arm, he was very relieved and shouted, "Start!" Qin Yun's wrist compared with old knees is like comparing a branch to a tree trunk. From the visual point of view, there's a strong impact. There's a big disparity in the size of the wrists of the two people. What's more, Old N.I. is a spirit martial realm martial master. This time, everyone thinks that Qin Yun can't win. At the beginning, Old Knee's body exuded a strong devil aura and his muscles swelled up. Under the muscles, a very terrible, huge black tendon burst out. Inside those black tendons, there's a powerful evil power. At this time, Old N.I. is more like a monster. Qin Yun is also relatively tall and strong, but in front of Old N.I., it is like a child facing a furry giant bear. "Get down!" Old N.I. roared and wanted to break Qin Yun's wrist. That fierce demonic aura also caused everyone to secretly frown. What was most alarming was that Qin Yun did not lose too much of his strength. "Big guy, don't think that big is strong." Qin Yun's forehead oozed a little sweat, and then he broke back a little bit. After breaking back, he even pressed down the thick and incomparably strong arm a little bit. When Lu Chongsheng saw this scene, he looked like he had seen a ghost. Old Knee's palm is relatively thick, so the back of his hand quickly touched the beast bone table. "I won." Qin Yun smiled slightly. Old N.I. saw that he lost and roared angrily. "You little grasshopper, what kind of method did you use? I am not convinced." Kumingjiang quickly shouted, "Get down." A wave of air rushed over and shook the huge Old N.I. back more than 10 steps. After losing another 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones, Lu Chongsheng's face turned green. Now, everyone looked at Qin Yun as if they were looking at the monster Old N.I., because this nobody, Yun Darren, was the real monster. "This time I will come." Lu Chongsheng came over and looked at Qin Yun with killing intent in his eyes. "Young Master Lu, those heavenly beast bones don't seem to be obtained by you. You have lost a lot." Mingjiang laughed. "You have to leave some for your fellow disciples." Other disciples of Medicine Immortal Valley, although dissatisfied in their hearts, will certainly not show it. They don't want to offend Lu Chongsheng. "Junior brother Lu, you can rest assured to compete. We believe that you will be able to turn the tables." A middle-aged disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley, his voice is full of encouragement. Of course, he is not willing at all. If he does not express his position, Lu Chongsheng may also hate him. Qin Yun did not expect that Lu Chongsheng actually has such a high status in Medicine Immortal Valley. This must also be related to Lu Chongsheng's background. Lu Chongsheng's own qualifications and talent are not bad, so in Medicine Immortal Valley, he is regarded as a very good disciple and received key training. Everyone can see that Lu Chongsheng is the strongest disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. He personally came out to recover a little loss. Otherwise, if he continues to lose, not only will the number of heavenly beast bones be reduced a lot, morale will also decline. Lu Chongsheng is very confident. After all, he is the youngest main sect disciple of Medicine Immortal Valley. His martial arts talent is also extremely high, which is the capital he has arrogance. He looked at Qin Yun and sneered. "You are called Yun Darren, right? When we arm wrestle, how about we add a game? Tell me what kind of game it is. If it's not fun, I won't play." Qin Yun laughed. "That is, we arm wrestle while slapping each other's face. You slap me, you slap me." Lu Chongsheng smiled and said, "How about it? Isn't it very interesting?" "It's quite interesting, but who will fight first?" Qin Yun asked. "Let's play rock, paper, scissors. The winner will fight first." Lu Chongsheng took out his hand and prepared to play rock, paper, scissors. Qin Yun thought about it and also agreed. The two of them played rock, paper, scissors like children. The result came out quickly. Qin Yun used scissors and Lu Chongsheng used hammer. Qin Yun lost the rock, paper, scissors game. Lu Chongsheng played first. Lu Chongsheng said with a very happy smile, "Okay, let's start now. First arm wrestle, Then I count to 10 and then start hitting you. For this kind of game, everyone is also very happy to see. Lu Chongsheng proposed this kind of game, obviously very confident that he will not be hit. Yu Wulan, Tian Ruling, and Feng Honglan are also secretly worried about Qin Yan. On the other hand, Xiao Yuelan is not worried at all. She is Qin Yan's wife and knows Qin Yan's strength best. Ku Mingjiang also felt that Qin Yan was a bit reckless and should not have one so easily. Soon, arm wrestling began. The strength of the two people is equal. No one can break the other. They are firmly maintained there. Chapter 554. Losing all face, Qin Yan quickly condensed the power of Nether Sun on his face. Even if he exposed his aura, he must not be slapped by Lu Chongsheng. This is too shameful. 7, 8, 9, 10. Lu Chongsheng was a little excited and laughed. Look at my palm. Boom. Lu Chongsheng used his other hand to slap Qin Yan's cheek. A large flame emerged, and Lu Chongsheng's flaming palm suddenly stopped a few inches away from Qin Yan's cheek. I will count to 10. If you can't hit me, this palm will be invalid, and then I will hit you. After Qin Yan finished, he began to count. 1, 2, 3. Lu Chongsheng gritted his teeth. He could not beat Qin Yan in arm wrestling. When he was about to hit Qin Yan, he was blocked by a force, which made him feel extremely aggrieved in his heart. 8, 9, 10. I finished counting. It's my turn to hit you. Qin Yan smiled slightly. Everyone couldn't help but marvel at Qin Yan's terrible strength. Not only is his strength very great, he can even block Lu Chongsheng's slap. Everyone looked at Qin Yan and Lu Chongsheng without blinking. They all wanted to see if Qin Yan could successfully slap Lu Chongsheng. This kind of competition looks like a child's play, but it is a test of one's own strength. When arm wrestling, one cannot spare too much power to break the opponent's defense. Otherwise, one will be suppressed. And when defending, one cannot use too much power to resist. If the power is not enough, one will lose. This is extremely demanding on the use of power and the distribution of Dao power. Everyone thought about it carefully. If they were to play this kind of game, they might not be able to hold on for long. Therefore, when Qin Yan blocked Lu Chongsheng's slap, everyone was shocked. I will count to 10. I will start to hit you. You are ready. Qin Yan began to count. After counting to 10, he released a vibration power and hit Lu Chongsheng's face. Lu Chongsheng also quickly used a powerful Dao power to protect his cheeks. When Qin Yan's palm hit, it also released a vibration power and scattered Lu Chongsheng's power. His palm, like thunder, fell on Lu Chongsheng's cheek. Boom! The sound of this slap was not crisp at all. It produced a dull and loud sound. It was clear that this slap was very powerful. On Lu Chongsheng's fair and handsome face, 5 black fingerprints suddenly appeared. His face was black and bruised badly. Everyone was so shocked that their jaws dropped. They felt an inexplicable sense of satisfaction in their hearts. Lu Chongsheng is the top genius of medicine Immortal Valley. He is aloof and arrogant, and usually looks down on everyone, arrogant. But now, he had been slapped in the face by a nobody. What Lu Chongsheng doesn't know is that the person who beat him is Qin Yan. This is the second time Qin Yan slapped Lu Chongsheng's face. However, Lu Chongsheng himself did not know. If he knew, he would definitely vomit blood. You have guts. Lu Chong was so angry that his whole body was trembling, but he did not dare to relax, because if he lost in arm wrestling, he would lose 50,000 gene of heavenly beast bones. He is the strongest in the Medicine Immortal Valley team. If he loses, they have no hope of winning back those who lost. Lu Chongsheng was beaten, but he can't say anything because this is the game he proposed, and he is the one who asked for it. It's my turn to hit you. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10. After Lu Chongsheng finished, his palm quickly slapped Qin Yan's cheek. This palm was still a few inches away from Qin Yan's cheek when it was intercepted by a force. Qin Yan also began to count. After 10 counts, Lu Chongsheng still could not break his defense. It's my turn to hit you. Qin Yan smiled proudly, and then quickly counted. He counted very quickly, and after counting, he slapped Lu Chongsheng. Lu Chongsheng just let the swelling and pain on his face disappear, and he was slapped again. The terrible thing is that the power of this slap is even greater. Lu Chongsheng's mouth was crooked. Lu Chongsheng slanted his mouth, squinted his eyes, and looked at Qin Yun with anger in his eyes. Now he is still arm wrestling, and he can't do anything. Xiao Yuelon and the other girls covered their mouths and snickered. Many people couldn't help but laugh. Ha ha! Lu Chongsheng, you admit defeat. If this goes on, you will be beaten to the point that even your mother can't recognize you. Kumingjiang is not afraid of Lu Chongsheng and laughed loudly. Shut up! Lu Chongsheng roared. He was slapped twice, and he can't let it go so easily. Qin Yun's heavenly lion Xian body fused with vibration Dao core and thunder and fire Dao core. The power that erupted in an instant is very overbearing, and even the spirit martial realm would find it difficult to resist. Lu Chongsheng quickly counted, and he also counted faster. After counting, he immediately went to hit Qin Yun. The third time, he still did not hit Qin Yun. Now, he thoroughly felt the power of the 9th-level martial Dao realm in front of him, how deep and bottomless it is. It is also because of this condition that Lu Chongsheng's power is also greatly limited, and he can't exert his full strength. In fact, this is also a matter of level. Qin Yun can exert his own strength as he wishes. It's my turn. It is Qin Yun's turn again. Lu Chongsheng knows very well that he is about to be slapped. So he wants to quickly admit defeat and deliberately weaken the strength of his wrist to let Qin Yun win. Qin Yun also felt the strength of Lu Chongsheng's wrist weakening, and he quickly retracted his strength and did not press Lu Chongsheng's wrist down. In this way, he can still slap Lu Chongsheng. Boom! Qin Yun's third slap came down. This time, Lu Chongsheng was not only beaten crooked, half of his face was swollen with his eyes, and his eyes were so dazed that he could not open them. You deliberately did not win me, just to hit me. Lu Chongsheng suddenly flew into a rage and took his hand back. He doesn't want to play anymore. If he continues to play, he will really be beaten badly. Everyone really admired this Yundarin. He actually dared to tease Lu Chongsheng like this. Lu Chongsheng, you suddenly quit. This is admitting defeat. Take out 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones. Kumingjiang laughed and admired Qin Yun even more in his heart. He actually let Lu Chongsheng eat such a big loss. Lu Chongsheng was slapped 3 times in front of so many people. This will definitely be very shameful. Why? You don't want to give it. Kumingjiang's face sank and said coldly, If I don't give it to you, what can you do? Lu Chongsheng covered his face and glared at Qin Yun and Kumingjiang. If you don't give it, don't blame us for being impolite. Kumingjiang took out his weapon, and his well-defined face is full of killing intent. Seeing that Kumingjiang is serious, everyone also retreated. This kind of battle between the experts of the early-stage spirit martial realm is definitely not small. Immortal Weapon City is in the right, so the disciples are all full of confidence and are ready to fight. On the side of Medicine Immortal Valley, several disciples were injured. The overall number is not as good as that of Immortal Weapon City, especially the 9th-level Martial Dao Realm disciples. They are even worse than Immortal Weapon City. Immortal Weapon City's Jianmeng is very terrible. If they fight, Medicine Immortal Valley will definitely suffer a big loss. If they go out and investigate, it is also Immortal Weapon City who is in the right. Lu Chongsheng suffered such a big loss and was slapped a few times. He is simply going to explode. Fortunately, he can also see the situation clearly, knowing that they can't beat Immortal Weapon City, so he can only hand over 50,000 genes of heavenly beast bones. As a result, Medicine Immortal Valley lost a lot of heavenly beast bones, and there are not many left. Junior brother Lu, we don't have many heavenly beast bones. A middle-aged man whispered. Let's go. Lu Chongsheng glared at Qin Yun and Kumingjiang. Then, with a group of Medicine Immortal Valley disciples, he hurriedly left this place. Kumingjiang looked at the disciples of Azure Flame Immortal Mountain and smiled. Friends of Azure Flame Immortal Mountain, you seem to be unwilling to accept us. Do you want to play with us? The people of Azure Flame Immortal Mountain have just witnessed the whole process of Medicine Immortal Valley, suffering a big loss. They're sick in the head to play with Immortal Weapon City. Everyone got some heavenly beast bones. You could go back and report. Kumingjiang shouted to the onlookers of the sect disciples. When you go back, don't say that we bullied Medicine Immortal Valley. We are very fair with them. Everyone has also dispersed, keeping the bearded man Yun Darren in mind, because this person is too evil. Junior brother Yun, you have a total of 60,000 genes of heavenly beast bones here. Kumingjiang said. After going back, Immortal Weapon City will give you a certain reward according to the weight of these heavenly beast bones. Captain Ko, what is the use of these heavenly beast bones? Qin only thought of refining. It should be a good material for refining. Maybe it can also be ground into powder for alchemy? I don't know. In short, it can refine good Xian tools and Dao tools. This is for sure. Kumingjiang said. Qin is now following Kumingjiang. When they go out together, he doesn't want to use that kind of space distortion method to go out. There's a certain risk. Lu Chongsheng suffered a big loss, and this matter quickly spread to many teams. The captains have a sound transmission conch to communicate with each other. After this matter spread out, it also made Lu Chongsheng lose a lot of face. The team that entered the Heavenly Lion Immortal Mansion, after obtaining the Heavenly Beast Bones, also quickly went out to report. This is also their main task, especially those temporary disciples. This is also an important opportunity for them to become outer sect disciples. Kumingjiang did not go back and continued to wander around in the Heavenly Beast Desolate Domain with the team. Are the powerful heavenly beasts here all dead? Kumingjiang led the team to search for a few days and then rested next to a big river. This team has more than 20 people. Jin Meng is also here. He did not make a sound along the way. Qin also knew that he was recognized by Jin Meng, but he did not say anything. There are still heavenly beasts in the Heavenly Beast Desolate Domain. Maybe they are all hiding. Qin Yun said, Captain, did the elders tell you how big this Heavenly Beast Desolate Domain is? I don't know. In short, it is not too big. We can fly to the edge in 2 or 3 days. Kumingjiang frowned. There should be powerful heavenly beasts here. Why not? Qin Yun knows the reason, because they were all killed by heavenly lions. Even if they are heavenly beasts, they're the kind of heavenly beasts that eat grass and leaves. They are small and well hidden. Roar. Chapter 555. Heavenly Fire Python. Did the heavenly beast appear? Kumingjiang suddenly became excited. The kind of beast roar. Qin also felt quite strange. What kind of beast roar is that? Qin quickly asked Ling Yun. This little demon. Ling Yun is flapping her wings and flying around in the sea of flowers in Qin Yun's illusory space. After hearing Qin Yun's question, she frowned and said, It seems to be Qilin? I'm not sure. Kumingjiang also quickly took the team and rushed in the direction of the beast roar. Qin Yun heard that it is Qilin beast and secretly worried. It is also a very strong heavenly beast. Kumingjiang rushed over excitedly. He has many heavenly beast bones, but he wants to compete with the living heavenly beast. Qin Yun can only follow. Not only Kumingjiang led the team, many sect captains led their teams and rushed in the direction of the beast roar. Everyone wants to kill a powerful heavenly beast. The direction of the beast roar is far away from everyone. Everyone rushed through the night, and at dawn, they came to a place where the aura of the heavenly beast is very strong. This place is also a mess. There are many trees that were flattened by the scorching power. Keep chasing. Kumingjiang was the first to arrive. After he sensed the aura, he quickly chased after it. Qin Yun is very vigilant behind Kumingjiang. Kumingjiang doesn't seem to be afraid of the powerful heavenly beast at all. Especially after sensing the aura of the heavenly beast, he became even more excited. Does Captain Ku have a Dao tool in his hand? Qin Yun secretly guessed. On the way to chase the heavenly beast, Qin Yun sent a voice transmission to Jian Meng. Brother Jianming. You have to look after me later. The heavenly beast may be very strong. Qin Yun, I really don't know how you got in. Jianming heard Qin Yun's voice transmission and responded. I will always have a way, Qin Yun said with a smile. After we enter the immortal weapon city, we will be brothers and we can take care of each other. Your strength is not weaker than me. You don't need me to take care of you. Jianming said, I am also afraid of what if you use a sword. Your reaction will definitely be faster. Qin Yun smiled. After chasing for a while, they saw a sea of fire in front of them. It's a fire attribute heavenly beast, great. Ku Mingjiang was very excited and quickly rushed in. Then, several spirit martial realm martial artists followed Ku Mingjiang and rushed into the sea of fire. We will also go in and protect Ku Mingjiang. If he dies, the heavenly beast bones we stored in him will also be gone. Jianming said to Qin Yun. Qin Yun nodded before entering the sea of fire. After entering, they saw a flaming python with a body several meters wide. This huge fire python's scales were fiery red. It constantly emitted flames and swept through the trees in the forest. It's a sky fire python. Great. It should not be an adult yet. The flame is not a powerful heavenly fire. Ku Mingjiang seems to know a lot and shouted, Everyone be careful of those flames. Captain, sky fire pythons don't roar like that, do they? Qin Yun asked. Ling Yun told Qin Yun that the roar might have come from Qilin. Qin Yun and Jianming floated in the air, following the huge body of the heavenly fire python and flying forward. They're going to see the head area of the heavenly fire python, where there must be a powerful beast fighting fiercely with the heavenly fire python. After they went over, they saw a Qilin beast with purple gold scales rushing towards the heavenly fire python. As Ling Yun said, it is really a Qilin beast. The body of the heavenly fire python suddenly moved flexibly, releasing a burst of flames and wrapping around the purple gold Qilin. Ku Mingjiang also floated in the air and looked at this scene in shock. The heavenly fire python is going to take down the purple gold Qilin. Ku Mingjiang said, suddenly took out a broadsword, swooped down, and stabbed the eyes of the heavenly fire python. The heavenly fire python suddenly became furious, and its throat made a gurgling sound. Because Ku Mingjiang is too small and very flexible, it is difficult for the heavenly fire python to attack. It can only constantly release a terrible flame. The purple gold Qilin also seized the opportunity and spat out a purple gold bead from its mouth and hit the mouth of the heavenly fire python. Boom! After a loud explosion, the mouth of the heavenly fire python was blown up and a lot of fiery red blood spilled out like lava. When the purple gold Qilin saw that someone came, it was also frightened and quickly flew away. Ku Mingjiang saw that the heavenly fire python was not lightly injured. He took out a large ring and put on the head of the heavenly fire python and tied up the exploded mouth. This is a beast ring, and the grade is extremely high. Is it a Dao tool? Qin Yun was shocked. Sure enough, after Ku Mingjiang succeeded, he took out a small golden pagoda. He made the small pagoda bigger. After the small pagoda became bigger, it produced a suction force, and the huge heavenly fire python was taken in. He has all kinds of tools to subdue the heavenly beasts, and they're all Dao tools. Qin Yun was even more surprised, and he could guess that Ku Mingjiang must have a very strong background in Immortal Weapon City. There is also a Qilin beast that is the most powerful heavenly beast. We must get it. Ku Mingjiang quickly chased up. Qin Yun was surprised in his heart and quickly flew forward with Jianming. It didn't take long for it to get dark, and the aura of the purple gold Qilin is getting weaker and weaker. Let's search separately. If we are separated, wait for me at the entrance and exit. Ku Mingjiang's voice was dignified and said, Once you find the purple gold Qilin, just make a big movement, try to delay time, and wait for me to arrive. Also, you must remember to beware of the disciples of other sects. After Ku Mingjiang finished, he rushed in one direction. More than 20 disciples also formed several small teams, 3 or 2 people in a group, separated for Qin Yun to look for the purple gold Qilin. Qin Yun and Jian Meng are together, and they are the last to act. The purple gold Qilin is very strong and very smart. Jian Meng said, I think if we encounter that thing, we are definitely not its opponent. Well, Kumingjiang is different. He has a very strong beast-catching Dao tool. Qin Yun nodded. He also felt the same way. You don't know. Kumingjiang's father is a martial king of a mortal weapon palace, and his grandfather is a very powerful elder. Jian Meng said, Brother Blind, it is better to do this. Let's just look around. Qin Yun said, Exactly what I want. Jian Meng nodded and smiled. After that, the two of them casually ran around in this jungle. All the way until daybreak, there was still no movement. Qin Yun and Jian Meng did not plan to look for the purple gold Qilin. They also know that the strength of the purple gold Qilin is very strong. That is a Xian beast level, much stronger than a spirit martial realm martial master. Only a complete set of beast-catching Xian tool, or Dao tool, can capture the purple gold Qilin. Although Qin Yun and Jian Meng are very strong, it is still very dangerous to face the purple gold Qilin. They feel that there is no need to take this kind of risk. If they are not careful, they will even lose their lives. If they really face the purple gold Qilin, after being injured and then encounter the disciples of other sects, it will be dangerous. In this kind of environment, it is also very necessary to be wary of humans. Although Qin Yun and Jian Meng are not familiar with each other, they're the kind of people who can trust each other and have their own principles of doing things. Not long after dawn, a few beast roars suddenly broke the silence of the morning. Did Captain Ke find it? Qin Yun frowned and said, Should we go and see? Let's go and see. If the captain is really in trouble, we still have to take action. Our heavenly beast bones are all with him. As Jian Meng spoke, he hurriedly flew in the direction of the sound. Qin Yun also has tens of thousands of genes of heavenly beast bones, which are reserved for his own refining and alchemy. If possible, he also wants to take the tens of thousands of genes of heavenly beast bones from Kumingjiang. But this is impossible. He must be forced to hand it over to the sect. Then the beast roars came out, and many teams in the vicinity also rushed over. After approaching, there was a heat wave. That is the purple gold Qilin. The purple gold flame released is also very overbearing. After Qin Yun and Jian Meng passed through the flame, they came to a place that was burned and empty. Kumingjiang is also here, and he is injured. What surprised Qin Yun is that there is a huge damaged beast ring on the ground. The beast ring is specially used to catch powerful beasts and is also specially refined, very strong and difficult to destroy. And now, the beast ring has been destroyed. Captain Cook, come back! Jian Meng suddenly shouted, called out his origin sword, and flew over. At the same time, a spear flew from a distance and stabbed at Kumingjiang. Jian Meng's sword cut the spear. Boom! The spear exploded, and the power of inscription gushed out. The pale golden inscription is like a net, covering Kumingjiang and Jian Meng. It's a talisman tool. Qin Yun shouted and hurriedly released a few throwing knives, letting the throwing knives fly over and cut the inscription net into pieces. Otherwise, Kumingjiang and Jian Meng's body will be branded with some special inscription. Kumingjiang angrily shouted, Which grandson attacked me? Don't let me find out. Let's retreat. With that, Jian Meng also flew away with him. You go first. I want to see who is sneaking up on us. Qin Yun sent a sound transmission to Jian Meng and Jian Meng. Jian Meng can only take Kumingjiang away first. Qin Yun used the transparent pearl to hide himself and floated in the air, looking at the sea of fire below. Not long after, a group of people appeared. It turned out to be the disciples of Azure Flame, Immortal Mountain. Qin Yun knows this group of disciples. When he was at the gate of the mansion, he was embarrassed by this group of people. This team of Azure Flame, Immortal Mountain should be like Captain Ku, specialized in killing powerful heavenly beasts. He can't help but remember that Kumingjiang's beast-catching Dao tool is specially refined. The captain of Azure Flame, Immortal Mountain, the same strength as Kumingjiang and Lu Chongsheng, is a very strong, early-stage spirit martial realm martial master. After he came over, he saw the fragments on the ground and said coldly, "Let Kumingjiang run away." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.